We are at our time for adventures.
Yes, let's go.
You did the voice. You did the voice.
Yeah, the voice. I know. It's funny when I talk to some people, they're like, that's not the voice on YouTube. I'm like, well, because I like announce on YouTube. It is a little bit different.
So let me start the show off with, this is Clayton from Our Time Adventures. That's Tommy Late Night, and this is Mark Bald Guy. Teaching class last week, my kids had to bring into class show and tell, right? And my kids brought in monster trucks, and I was like, what do we have here? And he's like, oh yeah, I love monster trucks. I got every monster truck, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh really? I was like, I know a few things about monster trucks. Like, they had no idea what I do for a living, right? And I was like, so do you watch anybody? They're like, yeah, we watch this show every time it comes out on YouTube. And automatically I was like, got him. I know where we're going to go with this. And I was like, is it, and I pulled my phone up. I said, is it one of these videos? He goes, yeah, I just watched that one last night. That's a brand new one. I was like, yeah, I know. I said, you know what's crazy? I said, I know the guy who does that. And they were like, what? I was like, you want me to call them? They're like, you can do that? Mind you, they're 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. So they are like enamored with the fact that I know the guy. I called Clayton, I texted him and said, you got time for it? And he's like, yeah. And he calls me back. We FaceTime. And I went, hey guys, look at this. And these kids were just.
Yeah, they were in awe. They were absolutely in awe. The one kid, all they could get out of his mouth was, I watch you on YouTube. I watch you on YouTube. I watch you on YouTube.
That's
He's just like
over
blown
and
away.
over and over again. So that you have a fan base that's all over and you might not know it, but this kids channel that you have made is gold. Gold for one reason, kids all know who you are, and it's a revolving door. Young kids get old, they pass on from the monster truck world, they get into tablets or whatever. But the younger generation comes up who had brothers and also now starts to watch the channel. It is a business plan which will never fail. It will only keep getting bigger, 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 and bigger and better. For
Absolutely.
that, I give you major kudos because you've done right in the world of YouTube and made a name for yourself. And you've got over 150,000 subscribers at this point. I know that for a fact. Yep, and climbing. And climbing. I forgot, Michael was telling me how many millions of views you have, like either in the last month or the last 6 months. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, dang.
Yeah, so just in, we average right now about 2 to 2.1 million views a month. And we just surpassed the 80 million view mark. So we're creeping up on 100 million views for the channel.
So I'm on your page right now, and you have 158,000 subscribers. You've got 1,385 videos, and you have 86,395,057 views. You started your YouTube channel. February 9th, 2022.
3 years ago.
Almost 4 years now. You've had the YouTube channel. This is Clayton from Our Time for Adventures. Like,
we uploaded our first video in April of 22, and it's still there. A lot of people say go back and delete your first 10 videos, and we should have. We definitely should have. They're horrible, absolutely horrible. You go look at them. I didn't know anything about editing. I didn't know how to splice clips together. I didn't know slow-mo videos. We went to a park one time, and I had my GoPro at the time, a GoPro 4, believe it or not, in a protective case because we're at the park. And I get home and I go to edit the video, and all you hear is this rattling and wind noise the entire time because the GoPro was rattling in the case. I didn't know any better. And I'm like, well, I got like 3 hours of video here of the kids playing. I'm like, I'm going to go through it and edit it and put it up. Like, it's not great, but that's what this channel started as, was just me and my son playing for memories. And I'm like, we're going to put it up. That's what matters. And it's just grown into what it is today. It's crazy. It's wild.
Well, Tommy, we're almost there. We have how many views? We're reaching 100.
No. So our first podcast has now broke 100 views. I was on the channel earlier today.
We're almost there.
We just broke 100 views.
Yeah, and I better start uploading more. You guys are going to pass me here in like a week.
Yeah, guys, not 100 million, 100. But I mean, listen, we all start somewhere, and this is 100%. Where we start. This is our this is our Clayton first 10 videos where we're learning how this whole video thing works right here. I got a background which is choppy. I mean, listen, we're almost there.
So Clayton, what was the inspiration to start your channel? You know, you're a monster truck focused channel, right? But our time for adventures. You know, you say in your description, you talk about family, father, son, fun, you know, hiking, Nerf guns, Nerf wars, stuff like that. But it seems like right now, not even right now, but just for the past couple of years, the primary content driven has been monster truck oriented. So what inspired you to do this and like have the focus be around Monster Jam and monster trucks?
So there's kind of a couple backstories to this. One is the whole reason I started this channel is my son used to tell people we had a YouTube channel when we didn't, which was hilarious, right? Yeah, he just spit his drink out. He was like 4, 5, 6 years old, and he would walk up to people. He's like, "Check us out on YouTube," and I'm like, "Stop telling people we have a YouTube channel. We don't have a YouTube channel." Okay, but he wanted a YouTube channel.
Out of
So
necessity.
that's how it
This is where this whole
started,
thing
like
starts.
legit how it started. And
He's
I
always
have
talking smart.
collected exactly. I have
Always-
collected diecast since I was a kid with my father collecting. So I was about 9 years old, starting to collect Hot Wheels and stuff. And I never got out of diecast collecting. I loved it. I worked for a diecast company when I was a teenager, traveled around to like racetracks, NHRA events, World of Wheel car shows, traveled all over to dirt tracks, doing sprint cars, NHRA races, and setting up diecast and selling it. Back when toy shows were a big thing in the 90s at malls, we were doing all kinds of toy shows. That was my job on the weekends as like a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old. And the coolest part about that is when you work for a guy like that, a little independent diecast company, and you go around and do that stuff. I mean, I was 12, 13 years old back then making like $15 an hour, and I could take half my pay in cars. Right? You know how cool it was to go home with like 8 or 10 new 124th cars and cash in my pocket? Like, it was the coolest thing in the world.
Peg warmers. He wasn't giving you peg warmers. He was giving you like legit stuff.
No, I would get the first choice of like all the fresh stock that would come in, right, from Action and Racing Champions, and back then Johnny Lightning, the Racing Champions, like 9 and 12 packs of little diecast 164th, sprint cars, Hot Wheels, NASCAR diecast, like everything.
Now, don't forget. Now, Tom, or you got to remember, Tommy, you're new to the diecast world. So, Clayton and I both have come from NASCAR, IndyCar, NHRA, and stuff like this. So, this is back when Racing Champion reigned supreme, right? This is back when you could get 1 of 5, 1 of 10. You could get the crashed version of the 118 scale cars, which were the chase cars. These are when those cars were worth a lot of money. It wasn't until Dale died, and a week before that, he'd signed a contract to be able to say, you guys can make as much as you want. I don't care who makes it. And he signed that deal, and that's when it all went to crap. So when he's talking about, you know, Racing Champions, most people on this channel go, well, Racing Champions are kind of junky, you know, like but back in the day, Action, Racing Champion, that stuff reigned supreme in that field.
100%.
So,
those, like, if you were in the RCCA club, the Racing Collectible Club of America, which was through Action, back then it wasn't even Lionel, it was just Action Racing.
right.
And if you were in the RCCA club and you got the newsletter and you got the newest, coolest cars, dude, you were like king of diecast back then.
That's it. You were it.
And yeah, that was the fun collecting back then. But that's kind of really what started it. Is I never got out of diecast. I've been in diecast my whole life. I've always collected Hot Wheels, NHRA, sprint cars. And when my son turned like 5, I believe 4 or 5, we went to our first Monster Jam show here in Salt Lake City, and he loved it. And the very first monster truck he ever got was the Spider-Man truck. And I remember we went home and he was playing with it and ran it down the stairs, and it chipped the back of it. And he was like so upset that it chipped the paint. But that's what started it all, is he really started showing an interest in monster trucks and collecting. And of course, I had the collecting bug my entire life, and it just kind of blew up.
Something new.
Yeah, it was something new and something we could share together. So really getting into the YouTube channel, that's kind of the backstory of how we started collecting together. The YouTube channel kind of stemmed from the divorce. His mom and I separated. And looking back, I really only have probably 8 or 10 photos of me and my dad together when we were younger. And it was one of those things that I told him, I'm like, we can do this. If you want to do this, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it big. And I told him even then, I'm like, even if YouTube never does anything, like, I know you're too young to understand this, but one day you will have all these videos to go back and look at of me and you playing together. Like, and that's what it was. That's what started this whole thing. And like, we sit in this room and that's literally what started it all.
So you essentially decided to use YouTube as sort of like a family album.
Right.
Of memories.
Exactly. And even the name, when we were trying to think of a name for the channel, Our Time for Adventures came because well, at the time, like I was a single dad. I just started dating my girlfriend, Heather, who also has 2 kids. We're both separated from previous relationships. And the standard laws, you have the kids every other weekend and Tuesdays. And it was our time with the kids for adventures.
Yep.
That's literally where the name came from. So you're right. In the bio of YouTube, we have like Nerf guns and we have hiking, and we still do all that. It's just this has kind of become something we all really enjoy.
Yeah.
And has done well on YouTube. So we just kind of stuck with it. But we have old videos that we never even uploaded. Like we would go to a park and set up blow up obstacles and play Nerf guns with the kids, almost like paintball. Like we would go to the parks and take monster trucks, and I mounted little GoPros on monster trucks, and we'd run them down the slide and play at the slide. And we'd go out hiking and run monster trucks down hiking paths, like all kinds of different stuff. And that's where the name came from. It's Our Time for Adventures. And it just stuck. Like I know it's not your typical like 2-syllable brand name everyone likes, but it's our name, you know.
I mean, not as fancy as Zero Trucks Given, but you know,
true story. I love Zero Trucks Given, and that's why we're here.
Gotta say, the vintage drop shop is not very fluid off of your tongue either.
Yeah, I mean, right. We're both
this is
right
back
there.
when I was like, we're gonna sell vintage clothing, but I also love tennis shoes. And when they do drops, I'm like, why don't we do the vintage and the drop shop? Because it'll be both. Oh yay! Now I have my protector pack. It's like the vintage drop shop when it could just be TVDS protector pack. You know, I'm like, I look at it and go, I love my logo, but it doesn't roll off the tongue like it should. It is what it is. Name is stuck, and we're stuck with it now. So yeah.
Yeah, and same here. Like I wouldn't change the name for anything. And
no.
People just know us as Our Time for Adventures, you know. One thing that kind of goes into how we got started is I was single when I started the channel, like started building the track you see behind me was in our house. Displays here in the shop are very similar to what we had in the house. I wanted to kind of replicate it here in the store. Reagan and I built that room in the beginning, just the 2 of us. He was 7 years old. And when we started building the room in the house that night, I let him do a lot of stuff. And even now, I'm sitting right here. Nobody's seen this yet, but we have a brand new track. And him and I have spent the last week building this track together. So even when we did the room, I took him to Home Depot and I'm like, what colors do you want? What colors do you want to do on the wall? And he picked out the green and purple, which we still have in here, for Gravedigger, right? The crazy part is we stopped at Home Depot, got paint and some wood and some paintbrushes. We stopped and got Panda Express on the way home. He loves Panda Express, orange chicken, right? In that room that night and ate Panda Express and painted the walls. When we opened our fortune cookies, I still have these. I will send you a photo of these fortunes hanging on my fridge so you can put them in this video. His fortune said, you will soon find a bigger stage to shine on. Fortune said, your careful planning will bring you financial success. We got those fortune cookies the night we started painting the YouTube room. I dated them. I taped them to a sticky note and I put them on the fridge, and I still have.
You should laminate them.
I should laminate them because, like,
that's awesome.
Here we are.
Yeah, that's
You're
awesome.
the only guy that's ever gotten a fortune cookie that got it right.
Listen, the last fortune cookie that I said, it said that wasn't chicken.
That was.
I was like,
you're still trying to figure out what it was,
Dad.
What did we just eat?
But I know you ate it because it tastes good.
Yeah, it was already gone. I was like, oh no, is that rat on the stick? Oh crap!
But that's how all this started. That's it. That's our story.
I mean, that's dude. Like, so to start out on YouTube as sort of like, you know, I know a lot of people, and even I thought about doing like the whole family album on the internet because, you know, like back in our day, you know, like I don't know about you, but we had the family camcorder, and Dad would never let me touch it. Dad would never let me touch the family camcorder. You know, we had you know, we had a lot of family albums. Unfortunately, when I was like 9, we had a house fire and lost everything. So I don't know of any like baby photos of me that exist. I think my sister has a lot of that stuff, but a lot of stuff got really, really destroyed, really damaged. And that's why I don't have like a lot of like stuff from when I was pre 9 years old.
I can help you with that. I actually have that.
You have baby photos of me when I was 9 years old?
Yeah, no, we can dumb it down because Clayton can do the photoshopping. I have the 84 camcorder here from my parents' house in the case with the extra battery packs, so I can just film it. Clayton can manipulate it, and then all new memories, old, same but different.
Yeah, same but different.
but different.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough.
If you
Like
squint
you know,
your
there's
eyes,
baby face filters now. It could work.
right.
I think that would bug out my kid if he saw that. Okay, let's talk about this week's acquisitions. Clayton, so, we like to recap what we've gotten during the week, if we've gotten anything hunting-wise. So, Mark, do you want to do it at the same time? Ready? 3, 2, what the fudge? What?
Oh, you got a
got
Thomas.
Thomas the Train.
Hot Wheel?
Hot Wheels 2020.
That
Okay.
is cool.
That's not what we're gonna show. Are you ready? On 3. 1, 2.
I'm not prepared for this, but what do you guys got? No way. You both got the same thing?
Yes.
That is sick.
I built mine. He hasn't built his yet.
I literally got mine hours ago. I went to Target on a fluke after paying my lawyer, and I was like, you know what? Let me check just in case. And the pegs were just pressing. Yeah,
tires.
I saw
So
that.
that's cool.
I
So it's
saw
like-
that.
Like it has air suspension or hydraulics.
Yeah.
That is sick.
I'll just tell you this. It was a long time to put this thing together. It took me all night last night. My
It's
kid
like
sat next to
900
me.
pieces.
He built the Maserati while I built the truck. But dude, when you get done with it, you just sit back and look at it and you go, it's exactly this truck.
That is awesome.
I love it.
So cool. And I'm happy that I found it on the shelf for, I think it was $52.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I almost pulled the trigger on the Whatnot, because obviously Whatnot's gonna Whatnot. They're going for $100. Like, that's just kind of how it goes. And we discussed it last week, how with the LaFerrari, that you'll buy it on Whatnot, and then the next day you'll go into the store and it'll be sitting on the pegs. So
yep.
I went today, and there was five of them there. So I grabbed one.
No chases?
And what?
There was no chases?
Nothing. There was 5 of these brick shop things, and I have the Acura already. I have the Maserati, the Cadillac. I found the Corvette. They're all still in the box. The Ghoul's still a little too young. He's turning 4 in a couple of months. He turns 4 in a couple of months, so he's still a little too young for this. But we have put together the Thunder Roarus. I'm looking at it right now. The Thunder Roarus monster.
Or no, the Lego one?
The Lego one.
Yeah.
He really wants the great out of print right now, so I'm gonna have to get it on eBay. But maybe
Dragon and Digatron. Those are the 2 that I built. And I got my honey hole from Louisville. This kid he's sending me another box. This is the third time he's sending me a collection of stuff. And there's a Lego truck in there. He's like, it might be broken when it gets there, but you can get the internet can give you the directions on how to rebuild it. I'm like,
it can.
All right.
You guys don't mind if I take a little walk?
Arrives. We'll fix
go ahead.
it somehow.
Let's see what you picked up, Clayton. What did you grab? Did you get anything this week?
The one I grabbed this week that I'm proud of, obviously all our monster trucks are here at the shop. And the one I was proud of that I found right on the front of the peg was the new Ford Super this week. And literally, Walmart is literally, there's our front door to our shop. Walmart is literally out that door and across the parking lot. It was like 3:00 the other day, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to walk to Walmart, and they had the new Christmas M2s hanging on the end cap. So I'm grabbing all the Ford Christmas stuff I wanted. No chase in that one. But I look over on the Hot Wheels, literally right next to it, and the Super is sitting on the front peg, top left. And I'm like, what is going on? But no, I came out here to show you guys, we have all these too.
Yeah.
All the Legos in there on display here in the shop.
Yes.
So these are awesome to build. So when you're talking about building those, with the kids, there's Bigfoot. I actually made a short of building Bigfoot.
I got Max D coming. That's the one that's coming in this box. It's gonna.
We got a couple more to build and put up too. I love those things. They're a lot of fun.
Ghoul definitely wants all of them. We took him to Legoland a couple of weeks ago. He freaking loved it. He walked around
Legoland.
Oh no, they made obviously it sounds silly, but so they made you could be Godzilla like, and you shouldn't obviously destroy the buildings and stuff like that, but they have like a section where you walk down to go to like the Pirates section, and it's all like, it's like Vegas, New York City, all out of Legos. And
Well, I'm aware.
the
Yeah,
goal.
we've both been there.
Oh, I didn't know.
The most
All right, my bad.
embarrassing story of my life comes from when I went to Legoland. And I was trying to, I can't believe I'm going to tell you guys this on a podcast, but when my ex-wife and I were still together, we took my son to, I always get them confused, Disneyland or World in California.
Disney World in California.
So we went there, we went to
California,
SeaWorld, we went to Legoland, and I still have all the photos. I had a backpack on with all our stuff in it, so she didn't have to carry anything. And I was taking a video of New York and the bridge. So it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm backing up to get it all in there. And they have little like 2-foot gates.
Yeah, they
I'm
do.
backing up. Yeah, they do.
Where they're going.
They hit you right about the back of the knee when you run into it.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you see where this is going? I fell into a bird display at Legoland with my backpack on. My legs are up on the fence. My backpack's heavy, and I crushed this display, and I couldn't get up. I was stuck.
You were like a turtle? You were like a turtle on a shell?
My ex-wife had to come over and lift me up out of the display. And then, of course, the employees are like, oh, don't worry. It happens every day. People break something. And I'm like, if you have the instructions, I'll put it back together. It's all I could think of to say with 2,000 people watching me.
I'll fix it for you, sir.
Dude,
Just give
I
the
still have the
directions.
photos of what I crushed.
You probably don't know, but you're probably like a meme joke on the internet right now.
You
Probably. I'm sure I'm there somewhere.
You know, security was like this.
Did you get that?
Did you get that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we
Be like,
recorded that.
Did
Oh,
that
yeah,
really
he
just
took it all
happen?
out. Yep, send somebody down there. Okay.
I'm uploading it as we speak, Chad. I'm
Yeah,
uploading it as we speak.
It'll be in your inbox in 5 minutes.
I could not get out of Legoland fast enough. I have never been so embarrassed in my life, in my entire life. But there you go. That was our Legoland story.
I wish I would have been there to see that.
So where
I would have
is
been the guy that just wouldn't have been able to stop laughing. I'm like, dude, I'd help you up, but I'd still be like, it's worth it.
Well, there was a lot of people laughing, trust me. And you could tell the ones that were laughing hard because they turned away, like they wouldn't look at me.
They're like, no eye contact.
Yeah,
No eye
probably
contact.
thinking that they're glad it wasn't them.
Yeah. That's great.
So what is the most rewarding aspect of your YouTube channel, Clayton?
Being able to spend all the time with my son. 100%.
So are you YouTuber full time now?
Not yet. I'm hoping to maybe next year. Obviously, a lot went into building the store. So with that, there's still, I think it's never ending, really. But there's always something here I just want to do and want to work on and want to build and make it better. But I'm hoping maybe next year, I've been with the company I'm with now for about 14 years. And I'm hoping next year with our toy line and whatnot sales and YouTube, I can just like do it. 3 years ago when we started this, I would have never imagined we'd be here today. Never. And, even when we started the channel, the kids would always talk about hitting 1,000 subscribers, hitting 10,000 subscribers. And I had to have a talk with them. I'm like, we may never hit 1,000 subscribers. We might not. And if you look at the analytics of like the history of YouTube, for any new channel coming onto YouTube, a brand new channel, the average to hit 1,000 subscribers is 23 months. I still remember the day we hit 50 subscribers. I was picking up one of the kids from school. I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for the bell to go off, and we got our 50th subscriber. And I was like tickled pink. I'm like, 50 people like what we do. Like, how crazy is that?
We made it.
We did. And I was super excited. I went home and did another short that day. I'm like, yeah, we hit 50 subscribers. We need a short. Like, that's just how cool it was. And we ended up hitting 1,000 subscribers in 9 weeks. Average is 23 months, and we did it in 9 weeks. Just mind blowing. So the fact that we're here today and we have people traveling from out of state to see us and just love to message us, that like it's mind blowing. It seriously is mind blowing. So
you know why? Because you stayed humble through this entire process.
Right. And that's what it is. Like, we do it for the kids. We make kid content that I believe the whole family can enjoy. Like
We do.
adults can
We all do.
enjoy it. Parents can sit down with their kids and enjoy it. It's bonding time for them.
All
know, and-
dads and moms, they all watch it right along with their kids. They all know the same thing. So yeah,
I use the YouTube
absolutely.
channel to gamble with my son. Honestly, that's what him and I do. I place bets on the races. You know, he doesn't know that sometimes I'll text you to like learn, like get myself an edge and be like, hey, who's winning in this race? And then I'll put a big number on there on the over under on who's going to win that race. No, I don't gamble.
No, you put 10 Cheetos against his 2 and you're like, hey, I still won.
Walked away with a box of Oreos as the victor. I won.
No, we actually had a message about a year ago from a guy, just random message on Facebook. And he was an older guy like us, right? Like just a guy that was at work. And he said that every one of their breaks at work, him and another guy watch our daily short and they bet $1. And in the message, he's like, I'm up $7. Keep it up. That was it. Like
That's
he was up
fantastic.
$7 and he's like, thanks. We love your stuff, you know? And like you get stuff like that. And it's fun. It makes it fun for us, you know? And then the other side of that is something I would have never, ever imagined happening. And I did kind of tell Mark this. It's like you can
being
bring
identified.
Yeah. Well, and people identify with it. And we've had multiple messages, some sad, and we've had multiple messages about parents being able to communicate with their kids for the first time through our races. We've had multiple messages where kids may have been mute or have some type of disorder or inability.
Well, tell them the story. Tell them the story.
The actual story. So
yeah, because people need to hear this. I mean, this made me choke up just on a conversation.
We had one.
Tell them the whole story.
The guy sent us a large message on, and I'll probably get all emotional about it, but it's tough, on Facebook. And his kid was 4 years old and had a lot of health issues and was mute. In the hospital, for the first time, he heard his kid talk watching our videos. But his kid had health problems and was mute. And for the first time in his 4-year life, he heard him talk with our videos. And for 6 months, he got to talk with him. And then the kid passed away.
Yep.
Yeah.
And listen, here's the reason why it resonates so hard with the three of us and people that are watching this that have children. I'll give Clayton a moment to regroup because listen, I've heard this story and I was choked up when I heard this story because listen, the one thing that we all do as parents is we never want to see our kids in any kind of pain. It doesn't matter what it is. When they are in pain, you just want to try to figure out how to fix this. And we are blessed that we all have children, which are healthy children right now. And situations like this really resonate home, whether it's a child that dies or a child that, gets taken away or put someplace else. At the end of the day, we're all human, but we're all three of us sitting right here. We're all dads. And that is the biggest thing to take away from this. But continue on, sir.
Yeah, and 100% you nailed it. We're all dads. It's like when you get a message like that, and he didn't message us to give us a sob story or let us know what he went through. He messaged us to say thank you. He felt without our videos, he would have never been able to talk to his son. So that was huge, like huge. And we've had 4 of those messages now. Not with the kids passing away, but 4 different messages from parents who, for the first time in their life, literally heard their kids talk to them and communicate with them through our videos. And even when we did our store opening here after the World Finals, July 6th, there was a lady that had come in here from out east, and she works with a lot of disabled kids and was telling us stories about how, like, the kids eat their food while watching our videos, or they have sensory issues with like touch and textures, and they say they use their trucks to mash up the food and then they'll eat it when it's mashed up with the food, and then they sanitize the trucks. And like, but to hear stories like that we can help in ways that we would have never planned to help or thought we could help or anything, dude, it's insane. And I'm like so honored that we've come that far, and it's cool. Like that's the reason why we keep doing what we do.
I was going to say, so does hearing those stories and getting those stories from parents, obviously, like Mark said, no parent wants to ever be in that situation. But hearing those stories, does it make you feel like you have a duty to continue doing this without like the drive for, say, like just the sake of creating content for the sake of creating content?
I don't feel obligated to do it for any reason. Like if that's what you mean, like I do this because I love to do it. I seriously do. As diecast collectors and grown men with kids, like we're all kids at heart. Like I don't
Still.
think there's a piece of us that has left when we grew up, right? Like you chase a car, you walk into a store, and like the other day when I found that super, you get that little like adrenaline rush and it
Yeah.
lasts for a minute. You just want to share that with somebody. And I love what I do no matter what happens. Like we've had people message us early on the channel and literally ask us because of friends that had other channels. I'm not going to get into names or anything, but we had a message where a guy asked us to stop doing YouTube videos. And I've screenshotted it. I saved the messages. Like we were early on. And they literally said their friends were upset that we were doing YouTube and they wanted us to stop. I got a message sitting in front of Alta one day when Heather was inside Alta. I remember where it was and what we were doing. And I'm like, I read this message and like, you want us to stop doing YouTube? Like I started this with my son. I'm not going to stop. It's things like that that give you that drive to like really want to do
Motivation.
better and make your videos better and edit better and like do stuff that's outside of the box and that nobody else is doing. And when you hear stories like the ones I just told, it makes every single thing worth it. Like it's not like I want to continue doing it because I feel obligated to. I continue doing it because I enjoy it. I deeply, truly enjoy it.
And you're always trying to make, listen, as a person who's always trying to, there's I look at what I do, there's no competition with anybody else. I don't compete with you, I don't compete with anybody else. I compete with myself. Every time I do a show, I want to do it better than the last show. So it's a mental thing. Like you just want to make it. How can I top yesterday's great adventure? How can I? That's the drive and the motivation. But Clayton will also tell you this, and he told me this. Once you get a message like that, that is fuel for fire on a person that has, the motivation. You have that mental capacity. If you say I can't do something, well, I sit down, hold my beer, and say you have just made the wrong statement because I'm going to prove to you exactly what you told me not to do, and I'm going to go twofold over on top of it.
That's
That's the reason why I'm
100% it.
listen. That's why right there in the inside of my arm, it's tattooed 120%. Because as I've lived my life, my mental state has been live 120%. And when I was drifting on my dash, it said never lift, never lift. And that's the fuel that you need. I mean, that's just the hustler in me. Never lift, live your life at 120%. Like I told Tommy one day, and my wife, still says to this day, I jump out of an airplane, but then I got to figure out how to build a parachute on the way down. That's how it is. Like
Right,
throw me out.
right.
Sometimes you got to wreck the truck to get the insurance money to make the truck payment. That's what happens. So that's the fuel. Don't ever say, you can't do it, or, I could do it better. All right, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. So, yeah.
So touching on the store, you launched the YouTube channel in your house, right? And then now you have a store. So tell us about the storefront. What's the deal with the storefront? Like, is it
So
retail store? Is it a place to hang out and put out the vibes? Like, what's the deal?
all of the above. It really is all of the above. The main reason we started the store, I knew we have a very, very specific niche, right? With monster trucks and monster truck racing and diecast monster trucks, because we're not an all-out diecast store. Like you can walk into a lot of diecast stores and they have Johnny Lightnings and Hot Wheels and NASCAR and NHRA and anything you want, right? Anything. You walk in here and it's monster trucks only. I have a huge Hot Wheels collection. I have a huge NHRA collection. None of that is here. The only Hot Wheels or anything you're going to see in this store are ones that we've turned into monster trucks. So we didn't open this store thinking, hey, we're going to get rich and we're going to expand and this is going to become like some nationwide thing, right? We never thought of it that way. The only reason we moved here to begin with was to get our house back. It has grown so much. Our house was overwhelming, right? We had literally a walking path from the living room to the kitchen with doing whatnots and online sales and all the stuff we were getting in for the channel and with the toy line sales. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but the cleanest part of the house was the monster truck room because that's where we videoed. Everything else was so overrun. We hadn't used our dining room table in probably 8 months. That was literally our shipping department. I will send you a photo to overlay in this. And we had so much stuff in our kitchen that our island was taken over. Like the kids would have to eat standing up at times. We ran out of room in the kitchen and on the island that we put an 8-foot folding table in the kitchen to give us some more space. Like it had gotten to that point. Our bedroom was overrun. The living room was overrun. Our spare bedroom where my office is, where I work, literally we have the 3D printers on one side of the room, my desk on the other side of the room where I work during the day, and stuff stacked 4, 5, 6 feet high, and I could walk to my desk. So it was just one of those things where we needed to do something or downsize. And due to the channel continuing to grow and now our whatnot becoming so popular as well, it's just one of those things that I didn't see us downsizing. So we decided to move it all out of the house into somewhere we could invite fans over.
It's kind of cool because you could have opted to get like a large storage, you know, like no, I mean, no disrespect when I say it, but like you're in Utah, like a storage space in New Jersey. I live in North Jersey. Storage space here, like a 5x10 is like $250 a month.
Whoa.
And I imagine like a storage unit out in Utah is probably like a fraction of that.
Well, we actually have still, even with the store, our inventory is kind of overgrown what we built here for a storage. So we do actually have a 15x15 storage as well. And you're right, it's a lot cheaper. It's like $150 a month is what I pay.
Yeah. So you got a 15x15 storage unit for $150 a month that you can put your collection in. And that's where my collection is at, whatever I don't have here on display in the house for the kid and myself. But you don't really get a chance to enjoy it if it's sitting in storage. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. I do know what you mean. All my NHRA stuff's been in storage for 8 years.
so having a storefront, you have retail aspect, you've got, for lack of a better term, like a destination aspect, because you've got people that can now come to the set, the Our Time for Adventure set
Exactly.
that's been recreated in your store. And it's not like, you know, you pay an admission to go in there and play. It's show up and go play, right?
Yep.
Like they don't have to pay admission to go play
100%.
there.
Nope.
So you have the actual set recreated in the back room over there, which is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. But it's also kind of like a museum too.
Right. And a lot of our little fans that have come, like obviously we have quite a few fans even local. I mean, with having a channel of 150,000 and growing monthly, a lot of local fans have come in, and the kids are just in awe, like they're starstruck. And it's kind of, I don't know the right word to use. It's like not weird,
Surreal.
but surreal.
Surreal.
Yeah, we'll use surreal because I don't feel like a star, right? I'm just like a normal guy playing with toy cars. But these kids look up to you because you're on YouTube. And when they come in, they're just like, whoa. And like, I even had a kid just as they were leaving one day come up and grab my leg and hug my leg and like kiss my leg. He's like, bye, Clayton. And I'm like, oh, like,
That's great.
hug you back. I'm like, what do I do? But he was just like in awe that he got to meet his favorite YouTuber, you know, and it's cool.
It
It's a
is now.
cool feeling to like be able to spend an hour with them and their family and hang out and talk about everything we've done and how long they've watched the channel and how the dad and the kids play with their trucks together while watching our races. Like that's what it's about.
Listen,
And
everybody that I've called Clayton when I've had kids, because I've called Clayton multiple times with children that I've run into that have watched his channel, the minute they hear him talk, they go, that's the voice.
yeah, that's the voice.
That's the voice. That's him. Like, yeah, that is him. Because, you know, Clayton doesn't show his face during these shorts and these
Right.
races. So these kids grow up with the sound. And even Clayton told me one day he was in a store talking and some kid identified him by his voice.
Yeah, literally by my voice. They heard me and they're like, you have that YouTube channel? Like, we do.
Like,
And
how awesome is that?
it's just crazy. Like in another time unfortunately, I was actually visiting my dad in the hospital last year and I had one of our sweaters on. And I'm walking into the door to the hospital, and all of a sudden I hear this kid walking with his mom behind me. And all the kid said was, Mom, that's the Let's Go Racing guy. And I'm like, how cool is that because of our logo?
Yep.
So I stopped and gave him a sticker, and he was just like blown away.
Do you carry stickers and stuff like
I
that
do,
on
yeah. Yep,
as a
we
kid.
always have stickers. So I have them in my
Listen,
wallet all the time. I have them in the car.
your claim to fame, besides the fact that you have an awesome shop and an awesome freaking whatnot and an awesome YouTube, is those words. Let's go racing. I mean,
Yep.
those are the words that the kids hear, and they know the race begins after those words. And every time you say it, even when I had the kids with me and you let them pick two trucks and they went down the track and you said, "Let's go racing," and the one kid just looked at his brother and was like, "Oh, he said it." Like that's it. That's the voice. That's the click. That's awesome. And I love it. I still, every time I watch, still, listen, I'm 49 years old. I just got into this, a year ago? I still, whenever I watch your videos, I look at my son, I go, "Let's go racing." I'm like, "Yup,
It's just,
yep, here it
it's
comes."
become like our tagline, which is awesome. And it's even on the front of our store. I don't know if you guys have seen the storefront.
Yeah.
Above the door, we've deliberately put "Let's go racing" because next to Our Time for Adventures, even our new shirts, we just had the logos redone and we're going to put "Let's go racing" underneath the front logo
Yeah.
just so it's on there. Like we've had a lot of requests for that.
Yep.
It's
That's
funny
awesome.
because kids absolutely love it and they say it. But then on the other hand, jokingly, of course, I've had parents message where on Facebook, I got a message just a couple weeks ago, and all it said was, "If I hear 'Let's go racing' one more time, ... And I'm like, trust me, I get that side of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I love it. I love it. Listen, that's the merch line that will sell forever. I mean, that's
Yep.
like all the famous people say, they make their money selling merch. And listen, you get a good merch line, people will wear your stuff. I mean, look, Indiana John and Indiana Tam come to my shop all the time and they were wearing his shirt. I mean, I took a picture and FaceTime him, and even Tommy. I freaking FaceTime Tommy that day when those two were there. So yeah, dude, your clothing has made it around the United States. Your videos have made it all over the freaking planet. So you're doing something right. Let's just put it that way, right, Tommy? I mean, he's doing
Yeah.
something right.
So when you
So
look at your analytics, what's the most like obscure place that you see that people view your channel?
So actually, a couple years ago, I'm not sure why it happened. I don't know how the back end of YouTube works. I'll never try to understand it. But about 2 years ago, when we really started to gain traction on YouTube, I think we were still only like 25,000 subscribers. For 1 month, 80% of our views came from Indonesia. And I still to this day don't know why. And it just happened. And I'm like, well, that's like kind of a wild spike to see. And then another one that's really cool, and this one makes sense. This one makes a lot more sense. But obviously, with analytics, you can see everything. Like you can
Yeah.
almost break
Yeah.
it down by city.
Yeah.
And clearly, our biggest viewer base is women that are 25 to 34. And it's because you think about it, it's their kids are watching on their accounts, right?
right.
So there's a huge gap. And I'm not talking like a little bit of a difference between women and men that watch. It is huge, like 9-10 fold on men versus women in that age group. And it's just cool to see the analytics and a lot of that stuff that I had no idea about when starting the channel. When you really start to dig deep into it and watch your analytics and watch what the numbers are doing, it's kind of staggering to actually see some of that.
Yeah. Well, it makes
Right.
sense too because if kids are watching, obviously mom's usually home with the kid at that age.
Yep,
So that's the first, they're going to watch on mom's phone. That's just the way it is, unless the
100%.
dad is the stay home dad or, whatever. But that makes total sense. And that's, the kicker is you can follow the analytics too to see how long they watch, how many years. And then if it goes dormant and then that user comes back on and a year later, you know that she's had another child that's now entering it back in. So you can follow that trail of analytics, finding out even how many children they've had by the difference in gaps when they started and stopped. I mean, that's the thing I preach about analytics all the time. You have the world at your fingertips to be able to figure out how to make yourself better. And analytics is how you do it. Most of these people and whatnot, they don't have any idea how any of that works. They just don't. They don't get it. It takes a generation like us that are going through to do what we're doing now to realize that's there to help you, not there to just be a hindrance. So
Yep.
yeah,
Well, and
that's
analytics
awesome.
is one of those things that once you really get into the channel like we have, and now it's like, I want to see how far I can push this. In the beginning, I didn't know we'd hit 1,000 subscribers. I had no idea. When we hit 100,000 in 2.5 years, now I want to see like, will we hit that 500,000 mark? Will we hit that million mark? Will we get a gold plaque one day?
Yeah.
So now it's kind of become like, how much can I push myself to better everything we do? Like can go back and look the last 3 years and see the tracks have gotten better. Everything's gotten better, right? Like the track designs have gotten better. Things we're doing with kids and kids races have gotten better. All the decorations, like look at this. This is the Halloween setup we have right now for October. Yeah, and they literally fly through a pumpkin, which was somebody's idea on Whatnot, and I just ran with it.
What about the New Zealand people that all sent their cars to you? Is it New Zealand or Australia?
Australia did send this year. There's a big Facebook following in Australia. Australia Hustlers, Monster Jam Hustlers of Australia. And they got together, and a bunch of their fans in Australia and the guy that runs the Facebook page and his family sent us, I believe, 32 trucks that were all hand painted and everything. So, or maybe it was 30. Let me think. It was a 34. 32. And then to make the races work out right, because usually we do either kids races or adults races, not together. Because of the way they sent the trucks in, I kind of just had to mix them up and make the races work. There wasn't really enough to separate just kids or just adults. So I made, if you go back and look at May
trucks
on our channel, we did 4 full races with those trucks, 4 full tournaments. And we made it like a series. Like the first 8 that moved on in the first round of the first race moved on into the second race. So they still raced in that race to get 1, 2, and 3, and then they moved on. And then we even made customs to race with them in the 4th race, which was awesome. We did like this whole series of how these trucks worked, and then we sent them back to them so they could keep in their collection.
Yeah, that's all.
And we've had multiple trucks from New Zealand, Australia did the big one. We've had many trucks from Canada, the United Kingdom. We had a truck from Germany. In fact, a kid from the UK sent a truck in and he won one of our races, which was awesome. And, people, this is wild too, because we run kids races, right? We had a race entry here this year. I'm just going to put this out there because I will never, ever throw a race in one of our YouTube videos. It's like, however the trucks go down the track, whoever crosses the line first, that's who wins, period. It's like a real race. We did receive a kid's truck with the $20 bill in it, and it said, "Here, thanks for helping my kid out." Well, I wrote him. Yeah, right. I wrote him a nice little note when I sent the truck back. I'm like, "Thank you for the tip, but we do all this for free for everybody, and here's your money back." Like, I'm not going to take $20 to help your kid win a YouTube race, right? I mean, and I'm not going to say where the kid finished. I'm not going to say nothing, but like, that's the kind of people. And it's just funny to me that people think that, be like, "Here, we're going to slide you $20 to help my kid win." And I'm like,
I wonder what they're like in the Pinewood Derby if they do that for a YouTube channel.
Right, exactly. Like, are they out there throwing magnets in their Pinewood Derby cars to help them go faster?
Right. That's awesome.
So we've seen a little bit of everything over here. It's wild.
So you talk about the track. So, and you talk about, we said, mom watching the YouTube channel. So that's how I found you. Okay. I found you because my kid obviously got into the monster truck, still into the monster truck, but I was looking for DIY ramps, right? Like, I'm broke. I'm a single dad. I'm a school teacher, so going out and buying a bunch of ramps and stuff like that can be difficult. I got my ebbs and flows as far as finances go. So I looked for a DIY on how to build ramps. I mean, obviously, you can slap together, and that's what I did. I ultimately slapped together some Amazon boxes, made some ramps and stuff like that. But then I came across your one video where you showed me the ram board. I didn't even think about using ram boards. So that's what your tracks were originally. It was originally ram board tracks. And that's what's great is that you showed people how you did it, right? You didn't gatekeep anything. You didn't like this. And even with you have a couple of videos on how to make custom trucks. You're not gatekeeping anything. You're telling people how to do it, which is really, really awesome. But now, dude, your ramps, I mean, I've purchased quite a few of your ramps.
Yeah.
And I think I was a guinea pig for something because I remember one of the ramps, like one of the center parts of the ramps, like kind of like caved in. And I was like, "Hey man, like, I don't know if you know, I'm not asking for a handout, but I just want to let you know, like, hey, this kind of broke." And you were like, "Thanks for letting us know. We're going to change the infill," because you 3D print everything.
We do for now. Yep.
And you change the infill and you send me all new ramps free of charge, which was awesome. And I thanked you then. And I thank you again. But your ramps that you use in the channel were, humble beginnings, ram board, DIY. to now them being like super, super, like you have a mini, for lack of a better term, sweatshop of 3D printers there. Are you printing the ramps that you're using, or do you outsource them to another 3D printing company? Like, so talk to me about those ramps. Talk to me about.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you how everything came together, because like you said, and we've gotten so many even videos. I love when people send us videos of them and their kids playing. I absolutely love that we have created this whole culture of kids that do this, right? And it was the same way with me and my son. We used to literally set up boxes off the couch and race them in the living room. That's how it all started. And I'm pretty handy. I'm a welder and fabricator, and I've been a mechanic for 20 years. When we started building the track, I literally told my son, I'm like, that same night I was telling you about the fortune cookies, I sat there in that room and I told him at 8 years old, I'm like, I know you don't know what this movie means, but there was a movie where they say, if you build it, they will come. And I told him that night before I ever even started building this table or the displays in the house or any of it. And it's like the guy mows down his cornfield and builds a baseball stadium, and it gets all popular. I'm like, that's what we're going to do with monster trucks. And it's worked. And I was just lucky enough that I had this background where I could design stuff myself and make stuff myself. And I've always been a builder, and I had the tools and everything to go with it. And that's kind of where that video you just mentioned came from, the do-it-yourself video. Once we had the first big track up, and even if you look back in our old videos, the launcher was only 2 feet tall. And the kids and I were down there playing at the beginning of YouTube, and the trucks weren't going super fast. They would only jump like 6 or 8 inches off that jump. It was literally a Saturday morning. We're sitting down there playing, and I'm like, you know what? This needs to be bigger. So I went to Home Depot that day, got more wood, made a 4-foot ramp. And I'm like, there we go. Now we're launching about 1.5 feet. So this is cool.
Yeah.
You know? And then people really started messaging us about, hey, where'd you get that table? Where'd you get the ramps? And I kept having to send messages that we build them all. We build them all. So finally I just got the idea. I'm like, next track we build, because we'd build the track about every 6 months just to change things up. Different colors, different jumps, different obstacles, everything. And so the next track that I built is actually the black and gray one. You'll see in the video, it has the picture of that track. And I think it just says build your own track on the title. I showed people how to do it. You know, I'm like, if people want to know and they want to do stuff for their kid, they can build the same track we have. Here's how I did it.
Yeah.
You know, now what I didn't really think of, I guess, is a lot of people may not be handy enough or have ever been taught how to use some of those tools or don't have the tools to do it. Right. So that's where the idea of having our own toy line and tracks came to life, is because we started getting messages that like, hey, we love that you showed us how to build the track, but we can't build one. Will you sell us one? And obviously, when you're building stuff out of wood and ram board and sitting there hand painting everything, it's a lot of time. And then plus you got to ship all the wood, right? Like if you wanted to buy a track set, you got to ship all this stuff. And that's when Heather and I really sat down, and I'm like, should we actually do something with this? And I started asking around for friends and talking with people if anyone knew an engineer, because I don't know how to design this stuff like 3D modeling. We found an engineer here local in Utah that has been absolutely amazing in helping us with the designs and everything. He's contracted with us and has been a huge help from day one with taking our ideas and the ramps that I had made and putting his twist on it and just running with it. And that's why we have what we have today. And there's been a lot of learning in the last year of doing all this. I mean, we spent 3 months prototyping everything. I didn't have a 3D printer. I didn't know how 3D printing worked. That was all a learning process, you know, and we probably went through, I'd say 50 rolls of filament in the prototyping process, just learning how to set up the 3D printers, how to get them to print right. Like, I like the way this ramp looks and not this ramp. Even our backflip ramps, I got one sitting right here. Even our backflip ramps, to get these to work correctly, this is the third design of this ramp to get the trucks to actually hit and flip. The first ones I didn't like you could roll the truck into it and it wouldn't quite work. And granted, they're not going to always work every time. It's a toy truck.
Right.
But we kept designing and improving stuff to get something that we knew kids would like. And like you said, we did have some problems with the infill in the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to save time and money and print quicker and less infill. And we learned very quickly that if a truck hits it wrong, it's going to just break. You know, and everything will break at some point if it's plastic. Monster Jam stuff breaks. Like, It happens, but we can combat that by making changes, and we've done that. We've done the best we can, and I'll always stand behind it.
And also by having great customer service too, like great customer service. You're a small business. You want to keep the people happy. If
100%.
someone contacts you and says, "Hey, man, FYI, I'm not complaining, but I wanted to show you this to bring to your attention in case you do come across, for lack of a better term, a Karen or a Chad who's going to be like, what the heck? I spent X amount of dollars on this. Like, this is not what I paid for." So.
Well, and even on that note, like I don't mind admitting when we're wrong, because it's all a learning process, right? Like every step of this entire process, from the first time I tried to video my son playing with something to where we sit today, has been a learning process. I didn't go to school for business. I'm not a 3D designer. I have no background in film or video or editing or none of that. I've learned every single step along the way, and I've taught myself via YouTube and talking with people.
YouTube University, bro.
Exactly. YouTube University. We used to joke around, even when I was wrenching in the field, that we were not ASC certified, we were YouTube certified. And you can actually even get iron-on patches that instead of saying ASE certified, it says YouTube certified, which is hilarious. So yeah, we used to always joke about that, but that's got us to where we are. And even here recently, our wheel tools that I designed have been very popular in the community, and they work very, very well, right? And they are a little money, but there's a lot that goes into them, right? I got to buy the tools. I have the plates laser cut. We got to weld every single one of them. You got the packaging and everything else. Well, we did a run of them. I made a change on them, and we did a run of them of 12 tools. And we had, within a week, somebody had purchased one, and they sent us a photo of it breaking. And I'm like, this is a metal tool taking plastic wheels off a truck. It should never break, ever. And I knew there was a problem, right? I just knew it. And I sent them a brand new one and redid it and redesigned it a little bit and sent them a brand new one. Never had a problem. Next thing you know, 2 weeks later, we get a couple more messages. I'm like, so did this whole run of tools have an issue? And I knew we did 12 that run, right? And sure enough, out of that run of 12 pliers, I've now replaced 11. I don't know where the 12th one is. If I did, I'd call them up and send them a new set. But we had 11 sets fail, and I stood behind it 100%. Like,
yeah,
they spend good money to get those, and they do stuff with their kids and swapping parts out and fixing trucks and customizing. They shouldn't have to deal with that. So I sent them new one. Like, that's the way the world should be,
The next tool you should come out with is an axle straightener. Like, if you can make an axle straightener tool.
Very soon. Very, very soon.
Right? Oh my
I
gosh,
have an idea to make a tool to take the wheels off and in the same tool straighten the axle. So I need to make it happen. That's the next big step. And that one will need a patent.
Yeah.
So do you have a grail? Do you have a grail item? So I remember in a conversation you and I had earlier this week, leading up to planning this and all that, you mentioned you have the largest collection of racing diecast in
NHRA.
NHRA, yep, specifically NHRA.
So do you have a like, that's purely racing, right? Do you have a grail item, like collectible diecast truck, Hot Wheel, Matchbox Lightning, Johnny Lightning, M2? Like, is there a grail that you don't have yet that you're just like, I need this?
I don't think so, because I actually had the grail I wanted. And
go. Yeah.
So when I was collecting NHRA stuff, as far as monster trucks, I don't really know if I have a grail that I'm hunting. Like, we have a lot of stuff. We have the X car, we have the Exterminator. Like, there's stuff I would definitely like to have, but not a grail. So my grail goes back to, with NHRA collecting, at one point, I've kind of sold some stuff off here and there. It's been in storage. I'm young enough I can go back and hunt. To me, it's always the hunt, right? So if you sell a few things off, I'm young enough where if I want to go back and get back into NHRA again, and I may, because I took about an 8-year break on NHRA and then just got heavy back into it. At one point, I had 49 prototypes that were never released of 124th NHRA cars. So that's how deep I got into that. But I have, still to this day, a car that was a prototype of a Tommy Ivo car, the movie star, when he raced NHRA funny cars. There's 3 of those cars that exist. I have one There's a gentleman in Oklahoma that has one, and there was one in a museum in California. And unfortunately, that guy passed away. He still has or his wife still has the museum there. She promised him that she would never sell anything out of it unless it was the entire collection. So it's been a few years and it's still there. So of the 3 cars that were produced as prototypes, I have one of the 3 in existence. And it just blows my mind that I have a one of 3 and I know where the other 2 are. It's just insane. And they make a decal sheet for it now, so you can make a custom of it. The decals aren't the same, but you can make one, but I have the original, which is wild.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's an
And
awesome
so
feeling.
it is. It's so cool. And that's just one of those things. If you're a true collector, like a true honest collector, and you get something like that nobody else has, or well, I mean, I guess 2 other people have, but nobody else can get, it's just a really cool thing to have.
Yeah, I agree. Grails.
But
Definitely
I had a
grails.
few of those. There was a couple John Force cars too. So that one was Tommy Ivo. And there was a couple John Force cars that were Action for a while tested this 24 karat gold. And it was literally like, a lot of cars were gold. Like they would release them in white gold, platinum, 24 karat gold, copper. They tested these only in 1999. I know you guys are old enough, you might remember, but like NASCAR, NHRA, everyone ran a Superman paint scheme when the Superman movie was coming out. So Dale Earnhardt Jr., Dale Earnhardt, NHRA, you had John Force. The bike was Heinz, I believe.
Heinz, yep.
Joe Amato had the dragster. Action did every single one of those as a prototype in a gold finish. To this day, my knowledge of what I've heard, there was 6 of each of those cars produced as a prototype, and they never went to production. At one point, I had the entire set of the 24 karat gold Superman cars.
One full set. I know for a fact because I'm here in Gasoline Alley, and I do remember this story. One full set broke up, went to each one of those drivers. So the drivers of all those vehicles, they all have one of their car that they ran. That's one. So that's one set. And then you had one set, and I don't know where the rest are.
Yeah, the hardest one out of that to get was the Jeff Gordon car. And that was the last car I got. And the Jeff Gordon Superman prototype, I paid a pretty penny for to get in the collection. It was just one of those things that at the time was my grail. Like I'm missing one gold prototype car to have every Superman car made. And I had to have it. When it came up, I bought it. And I sat on it and sat on it and sat on it. And I don't need, to this day, I don't know how this other guy found out I had it, but I get a random message one day and he found out I had it. And he was a big Jeff Gordon fan. So he collected only Gordon cars, and it was the only Gordon he was missing. And he made me quite the offer over even what I paid for it. And that was the day I broke up my Superman set.
Yep. Yeah.
Do an offer you couldn't refuse.
Literally.
Well, here's the deal, though. The story gets better, right?
Which, on the Superman story?
Was it the Superman story where you got rid of the car for an undisclosed amount of money and then ended up getting it back?
No. Those were some of my other rare NHRA cars. I know the one you're talking about. I did have some really rare NHRA cars that were the gold, copper, and a white gold finish. And a gentleman offered me a very large sum of money because they were the only 3 he was missing. And him and I became actually pretty good friends with this whole thing. And about 6 or 8 months later, we found a gentleman that was selling his entire collection. And we went in and we bought this entire collection of NHRA cars, like 1,300 124th cars. And in that collection were the 3 that he bought for me, and I got at like a very low dollar amount. But
so
I mean, the guy that bought them, I got them back in my collection just shortly after for a much lower price. The guy that bought them, he never had hard feelings over it because we worked together on buying that collection. He knew they were there. He's like, at the time I wanted those cars for my collection. I paid you what I thought they were worth to fulfill my collection. He's like, now you get them back. He's like, congratulations. It's just how he was. He was super cool and down to earth. And like, dude, people like that, it's awesome that and still we've been friends through diecast, and we've even gone to races together. We went to Pomona to the NHRA finals in, I believe, 2016 together. And we went and sat and had dinner with Tony Pedregon at a steakhouse. Hung out with Tony Pedregon. I bought a bunch of Tony's prototypes out of that meeting and a couple Wally trophies. I have some Pedregon Wally trophies. It's just amazing who you can meet through diecast collecting. And we've been really good friends for 11 years now. And it's just, even though I'm not
Cool.
much into NHRA and we're doing all the monster truck stuff, like we're still really good friends. It's awesome.
That's great because like all you really hear about, and I don't want to say all you really hear about, but I love hearing like the positive stories that
Yes.
come from this hobby, because we all have our kind of encounters with, for lack of a better term, the other collectors that are kind of crappy and just kind of like in it for themselves. But like when you hear these stories that are like, you know, positive and upbeat, like this is like, you know, every hobby has these. I mean, like, I left Pokemon because Pokemon, the scalpers made Pokemon really, really toxic. And when I got into diecast, it was because of the community aspect of diecast. And then slowly the ugliness of diecast revealed its face. But I'll tell you, I've had a lot more positive experience in diecast collecting than I've had in any other sort of hobby. With music, like with music, there's always been like a sense of competitiveness, an edge of competitiveness. And I feel like with this one, like the last toy show I went to last week in New Jersey, they had a toy con at the old Lackawanna train station.
So jealous.
There was the New Jersey Diecast Collectors Club there, and there was this older gentleman that had like the 8-lane Hot Wheels
Downhill.
where ramp set up, and kids were coming up, and he's looking at these. This is an older guy. He's retired. He's a retired railroad worker. And he's like, do you want to race these cars or do you want to race your cars? And he was helping these kids crack their blisters, and he set up, and he had like an extension 8-lane tracks going. And he's like, all right, let's go. Like, back up so you can see which lane wins. And I'm just sitting there watching this, and I'm like, this is what it's all about right here. Like, people forget that this is a hobby. We're talking about toys here. Like, they're toys, and it's really about the kids. But even take away the kid aspects from it, with adults, you had this experience with two grown men with a common ground of being diecast. And you're saying that you've had this friendship for what now, like 11 years?
11 years, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's
we used to talk literally every single day. Like, I used to travel a lot for work, and he's retired. And we used to talk literally every single day. Like, what'd you find? Who you talking to? Like, every day. And it's kind of gone away from that. Like, we're super busy on this end. We're still working in the store and the channel and everything. But I mean, it's probably like weekly or bi-weekly now. We'll be on the phone for like an hour and just catch up. It's that's how you know you're a true friend. Like, you can not talk for 2 weeks and just get a call and be like, yo, what's going on, man? What's new? What's happening? And it's just,
Mark,
it's so cool.
You went to go grab something more?
I had something to show you, but because I'm using that background, wait a minute. Maybe I can
trying to catch it.
Angle it.
Okay.
Angle it.
If you can
Okay, I see
see,
a ticket stub.
NHRA photo.
that is Ashley
John Forrest. Yeah.
Wait for it.
Nope,
Wait.
Take a
It'll
picture
come
and I'll put it in the edit.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Take a picture and throw it up.
This is a picture of the winner's circle, September 5th, 2011, when Ashley Forrest won the Nationals here in Indianapolis.
That is so cool.
So the couple of crew guys, good friends of mine, and John Forrest is a friend of mine, and now Ashley's become a friend of mine. But this is a picture of me in the winner's circle with Braden, my son, holding the Wally next to Ashley, and then I'm next to Braden, and my buddies who worked on the team right next to him. I mean, in the winner's circles.
That is so
through
cool.
And through racing. I've been so it would have been 2000. Remember when John wrecked Clayton back in early 2011? He had that real bad crash.
07 in Texas.
Yes. So before this race, my employee at the time, his dad is the man who certified all the chassis. So if you didn't have a Jack Richards signature on the chassis before this race day, you weren't racing. Like, he was the guy who certified that it was legit to go. So, but we had met John a while ago, and we were in the gym in Indianapolis because John doesn't live in Indianapolis. He lives in California, but his race shop here in Indianapolis, he's in there for the entire month. So he's always in Indianapolis for at least a month. So he's at the gym working out, and he's got this 5-pound weight, and he's sitting there doing these 5-pound weights. And I looked over and I said, settle down, Seabiscuit. I was like, you might hurt yourself there, old man. He goes, you wreck at 285 miles per hour and walk away from it at this age, and you see how you feel. And I was like,
legit. That's legit.
That's legit. I'll give you that. But I mean, he was in rough shape. He said 5 pounds hurt, just lifted a 5-pound weight. He goes, but it's not his first rodeo. It's not his last rodeo. And I'm like, dude, John, you've been through some stuff, haven't you? He's like, yes, I've been through a lot. So this is, I've been around racing my entire life. I've been in Indianapolis for all the time that I've been like in major racing. So I've been blessed to, when my shop was over with Schumacher, we would do pit bike races at the middle of the night. So Schumacher's building so big that the employees that work there during the week, there's apartments set up upstairs for them. So they come in and they stay all week in the apartments, right? And then they go home after the races or whatever. So we would go over, this is so ridiculous. We would go over to Schumacher's shop at night during the weekday, drunk. We would get the pit bikes out. Mind you, all the semi-trucks and trailers are in there. Tarps are out. Cars are sitting on jack stands. Bodies are off on body stands. And we would do the pit bike races around all of them and then come back. And it was late night drunken pit bike racing, right? And they knew it was going on, but they just said, if you knock something over, it's game over. And we never knocked anything over, but you would just, at midnight you hear, and it's these just pit bikes. We were just having at it inside. So the racing community, a lot of people just don't understand how really connected the racing community truly is. I mean, John Force's teams play with Petragon's teams would play with, they would all play fun together because when they're in that month there of Indianapolis, everybody gets back together again. And it's just, shenanigans for the entire month leading up to the Nationals in Indianapolis. Yeah. When you talk about meeting people in Petragon, those guys, I've met those guys too. And they're all human, just like we are.
Exactly.
Right?
They're all buddy
Take away the camera, take away the person with a microphone. They're just human dudes. They're just normal dudes. So it's cool. I remember after this race, Ashley hung it up. Got married. She was married, but then she got pregnant, had a baby, never raced again. This was her last race she ever raced.
It's one of the cool things that I have in my collection, just as a memorabilia, like a racing collectible. 2 things, actually. One, when we were really into collecting, we worked with the John Force race station a lot. And I got a call one day from the guy that was running the race station down there in California. He's like, hey, I have some collectibles we found in the warehouse. You guys, we'll send them to you guys, but we can't sell them. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you'll send me? You can't sell? He's like, we found a whole case of Ashley Force's Rookie of the Year party champagne. They had special champagne made with Ashley Force Rookie of the Year that were autographed, but because they were liquor, they couldn't sell them. So he's like, if you guys pay for shipping, we'll send you each a couple bottles. Like, done, dude, sign me up. Yep, send me a PayPal invoice. I'll shoot it over. So I have 2 of those bottles in my collection signed by Ashley and John for her Rookie of the Year, which is just sick. Like, how do you get the opportunity to get stuff like that? And that's the kind of stuff that's boxed up in storage I'll just never get rid of, like, ever.
That's an obscure collectible. That's a totally obscure collectible. Like,
exactly.
His girls are something else. I mean, listen, he's told us stories of, growing up and, being just a wild, crazy guy. Even though he was married, he lived that wild, crazy life. And then he started having girls. And he was like, one of these are going to be a boy. I'm going to have a guy that's going to race. And never had it. And thought, what? His idea was, I'm going to make the 3 fastest girls ever on the planet. And Brittany Force, right now, she's the fastest
she's
girl
been insane
ever
this year, and now she's hanging it up.
Yep. It's crazy that they've all 3 run through, and then that's it. And poor John's just sitting there at the racetrack, just broken. I mean, every
still
part
plugging
of his
away though. He's still plugging away.
Still plugging away. He's like, I'm gonna outlast everybody. I'm like, yes, you are. You're gonna blow up in a fiery crash, and that's what's gonna take you out.
When I've always kind of jokingly said, I'm like, that's what's gonna take John Force, because I think that guy's breathes so much nitro that nothing could live in his body.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a crash that takes him out.
Yeah. And he's been on fire at over 300 miles per hour multiple times. He's wrecked and broke damn near every bone in his body multiple times. Yeah. He's lived with a pure estrogen family his entire life. He's brought 3 girls up through the ranks and made them some of the fastest girls on the planet, and he's still racing to this day. I mean, it's
wild.
Crazy. Yep.
So Clayton, we've covered a lot of stuff. What are some of the challenges you've had as, a business owner, a content creator, as a dad, as a collector. A lot of great things have been happening to you. It's been an upward trajectory, especially for the channel. But what are some of the challenges that you've experienced doing this in the hobby, in your channel, and your business? If anything comes to mind, let me know. And then how did you overcome those obstacles? Like, how did you handle those challenges? What did you
Well,
do?
one of the biggest things, especially with the channel itself, is just trying to learn how to do everything. Like I said earlier in the cast, like I'm self-taught in every single step of this. Whether it's on YouTube or I'm Googling stuff or asking other people, like I never went to school for any of this. So every single step of this process is a learning process in its own, but while I'm still trying to take care of everything else that is going on. I mean, I do still work a day job right now. I probably don't have to, but I do. And it's one of those things that time constraints right now has been my biggest enemy. It's like I always feel like there's stuff I need to get done and just don't have enough time to do it. And one thing I've told myself is even moving to the store, we've got here because of what our YouTube channel has become. And I never wanted to fall off of that. Like the one thing we need to concentrate on is still making good content, still uploading regularly. And it takes time. It's a lot of time. People don't realize, but our long form content every week that we put out, if I'm doing a 16 truck race, it's between 6 and 9 hours to film, edit, upload. Like it's not something that, and I think it's only that because I put into it what I put into it. Can we go out and make something that I can throw up in 4 hours? Absolutely. But people won't enjoy it, and to me, it's because of the fan base. I'm always trying to better what we do for our fans. And it's not that I feel like I have to. Again, it's that I want to. Like we've come this far and I just want to give the fans the next best thing. I've got some huge plans now, as I kind of showed you guys here. Take another look quick. Like we just got done building this track. We have another double loop set up, little different angle up on the top, which is kind of cool. My son literally came down wrong side. Can't see what I'm doing. But he was outside out back of the store the other night crushing Hot Wheels cars with a hammer.
Yes.
Right. And this is like the first view of any of this. We have a truck graveyard,
Yeah, good.
scrap
Yeah,
yard, and then check out this little like sign that I made to put in there. Like,
Yes.
the
so we're
billboard.
always trying to do something a little different jumps on this one. We haven't had this style of backflip ramp before with the container that's got our logo on it. We haven't had this style of ramp on the track before. The next thing I want to do, and the next track, so once this track's all set up and ready to go, after Halloween, this track's going to be coming down. We've had this track up for about a year now, and it's our first double loop, and everyone loved it. And it's going to be coming down, and something crazy is going to go in the place of that. And that's one thing that's awesome about being here at the store is we do have more room. We do have the double tracks. I do have that ability to be able to do that stuff. But as far
So
as
you could have one track
challenges,
up the race while you have another track being under construction.
yep, exactly. But as far as challenges, the biggest challenge to this whole thing has just been the learning process, editing, time management. I really think that's been the hardest thing throughout everything.
So through that whole process of learning how to edit and the time management, do you ever get frustrated and feel like it's taking away time from your son and your family?
I don't get frustrated with it because there has been times where I felt like I needed to spend more time with my son, where I have been putting a lot of time to that. And I'll literally just stop and go do it. Like that's one thing you always have to remember. Like I started this with him, for him, and he's my only kid. And it's like when we have those times now, he's getting older now. He's 12 years old. Luckily, I know there's going to come a day where he doesn't really want to do this anymore. Right? We all kind of grow out of it. Like I don't know if he's going to be 18 and still want to play with toy trucks in here with dad. If he does, cool. Like he has so many ideas. The double loops were his idea. The color craze stuff was his idea. Actually smashing Hot Wheels cars in our very first track was his idea. That whole graveyard is his idea. Like so much of this stuff is his idea. And he's kind of getting older now. We still do the reveals together. We still come in here and play together. But he's kind of gearing more towards Legos and gaming. And even when I told him, this is funny because he's 12. When I explained to him the one night we are going to be moving everything out of the house into a store, the night we signed the lease, he took me downstairs and he's like, Dad, once this display's gone, like we can put a TV over here and we can put a TV over here and the couch can go over here and we can leave space over here where I can play my Oculus and we can put up a racing sim on this side and this can be just like a whole gaming room. Before we ever even moved anything, he was like already designing the monster truck room to be a gaming room. He's like, and then we can start an Our Time for Gaming channel. And even on the joysticks, on the controllers, we can have our logo and we can sell little covers and like wraps for the controllers with Our Time for Gaming on it. And we can make shirts with Our Time for Gaming. Like he's going crazy. He's like a little marketing genius.
Yeah.
He's built, he sees the empire. He sees the brand empire.
That's right. That's
and
right.
even when we started the whole
channel,
YouTube channel, when I started designing the logo, because I hired an artist to design the logo for us, Reagan went and he took his sketch pad at 8 years old. He took a drawing pad into his room and came back and had shirts drawn out with the truck on it. The one thing I always thought would be cool to do, I haven't done, I really want to do it for him because it was his idea. On the merch pad, he drew socks. Reagan is kind of funny because he never wears matching socks. He just doesn't. It's his thing. If the socks match, he won't put them on. He likes mismatched socks. Well, he designed these socks that had treads on them, like tire treads from a monster truck. And he came to me and showed me these. He's like, Dad, these could be really cool socks to have these tire treads on them. I'm like, it would. And he's like, but the tire treads could be like the rubber. So kids could wear them in like hospitals or trampoline parks or I'm like, dude, they could be. Like, how crazy is that? They could have Our Time for Adventure socks with little rubber tire treads so you don't slip. I'm like, how do you think of that?
Grip slips. That's what they call grip slip.
I'm like, how do you even know this?
That's awesome.
So it's been wild with him. And there has been times where I feel like I have been working a lot, especially like with Whatnot shows now. We love doing our shows on Saturday nights. And we do the YouTube videos together, but it's not live, right? It's him and I in here on camera playing. He likes to do it. But even if you watch those videos, you can tell he's a little quiet, like a little bit reserved and shy. I have tried to get him to do the Whatnots and stuff with us. Now, Heather's young boy, he plays soccer and he's like the sporty, popular kid. And he's been on Whatnot shows and he'll even walk behind the camera when we're doing lives. And he's just like, do check me out, you know? And Reagan's not quite there yet, but it's funny because I've asked him to do it. I'm like, dude, we're doing a Whatnot show. Like, come hang out. And he's been here at the shop with us, but he'll sit out there and play video games or you see him like over here in the back behind us, like playing with his trucks. And I'm like, he'll get there. He'll get there.
Yeah, eventually.
But yeah, it's just been, the whole process has been so cool.
Is there a secret sauce to your?
I don't think there is. I think the only reason we've been successful, I think, is because I have a drive to push myself. And I always have. Any job I've ever had, I've excelled. And it's because I push myself. Like even when I was 16 years old, I started working in restaurants and I worked for a restaurant called Perkins, which I don't know if you guys have out east.
My gosh. Yeah, that's old.
I was a kitchen manager at Perkins when I was 18 years old. I was the youngest salary kitchen manager that Perkins ever had. And it was just back then, that was my drive. Like I loved cooking for people. I love working in restaurants. I wanted to be a manager. I wanted to be a general manager. I wanted to be a regional manager. I wanted to own my own restaurant. And that was the drive. You know, I did it for myself, but then eventually I got sick of working in restaurants. I put myself through, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually a high school dropout. So I dropped out. Yeah, I dropped out my senior year because of my parents' divorce. I never went back. We moved states and I never went back to school. I started working. I moved out of my parents' house when I was 17. And about 23, I just decided I wanted more. Like I wanted more than just working in a restaurant my whole life and working every single weekend. Like I'm a car guy. You know, if you work in a restaurant, the good people work on the weekends. Yeah, you don't have time for any of that. You can't go to the races. You can't do nothing. And I finally decided I wanted a career where I could have weekends off and take time for me. So I went to school. I went to WyoTech. But prior to that, I got my GED and did all that myself. Did that. I went to the public library in North Dakota where we lived. I learned all the stuff myself. I went and got my GED. I went to college and everything is because I've pushed myself. It's not because of other people. I've just wanted to better myself my whole life. And even now, even with the races, what's that?
Did you get a college degree?
So I didn't get a college degree. I went to Wyotech. You get like a certificate. It's not a degree, but yeah. So I did the trade school for. I went for paint and auto body because back then I was super into cars, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go learn all this stuff, and I'm gonna own my own shop one day. And that was I went from wanting to own a restaurant to wanting to own a shop, and I pushed myself for that. I went to school, learned auto body, collision repair. Then I took classes for chassis fabrication and high performance engine. And then I worked for Mark may know. Do you know V Gaines, Pro Stock NHRA driver?
Oh, yeah.
I built V Gaines cars for 2.5 years in Colorado. I worked for V Gaines, Lazarus Racing in Colorado. And I did that. And it's like once I got to that point where I was building the cars I wanted to build and able to do some of the stuff I wanted to do, it wasn't my company. I was working for somebody else. And I realized that, you're never going to make it doing that for somebody else.
No.
The pay wasn't good. It was a dream job doing what I did. I built chassis and mounted carbon fiber bodies and worked on the cars every single day. But on that side of it, you couldn't support a family with it. Like just difficulties there, obviously.
Single dad money.
Yep. Exactly.
Single dad money.
So
because at that point, when you're like the guys in Schumacher, they'll tell you all the time, they're not married yet. They don't have any kids. And they're literally sowing their wild oats, having a great time working on a race team until they find that right person. And once they do, that's not sustainable. Like your wife's not going to be okay with you being on the road for half the year in a truck and trailer out at racing events where there's women. That's not sustainable. That's a young getting out of high school, getting a job, get your dream job, and then traveling the freaking United States, having the time of your life. But once you get in your 30s and you start to want, you start looking at a wife, that stops.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I didn't have my son until I was 32. A lot of people have kids much, much younger, and I just didn't. It's just one of those things that, again, it all goes back to sitting in this store right now, right where we're at right now. Like everything happens in life for a reason. And now I get to do something every single day that I love. It's like, I cannot wait to come here. I'm not kidding you guys. There's times I unlock the door, come and shut the alarm off, and I just look around. I'm like, wow.
Didn't look. Take it in. I get it.
It's so surreal. And it's like, I can't believe this. And people come to see us. Like, they come to see us. It's crazy.
I get that same feeling when I sit down in my shop and I look around, I'm not open to the public.
Yeah.
But I got 2,000 square feet and it's fully packed. And I've shown you guys. I'll go in and sometimes I'll just sit there and I look at the shirts hanging up, David Bowie, and I'm looking at all the cars and I'm looking at the memorabilia now that I've got hanging all over, and I just go, I tell people all the time, they say, what do you do for a living? I was like, I sell cars, because I came from the auto industry, right? So people are like, oh, what kind are you selling now? I'm like, exotics, high-end, Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
Yep.
And they're like, wow. And I go, yeah, you don't know that I can put them in my pocket. But
they don't need to know
I literally sell those cars for a living. But, I tell people all the time, they ask me what I do. I said, I don't live a real life. Like this, I don't have a real job. Like I play with toys all day long. It's just, sometimes it doesn't make sense.
I think eventually when I do make that transition from my day job to doing this full time, I don't know if I'm going to tell people I'm a YouTuber or content creator. I think monster truck race promoter sounds cooler.
Hey, that worked. Or I race trucks for a living. They don't got to know it's toys,
right?
Yeah. Hey, I race trucks for a living. They're like, wow, really? You're like, yeah. And hope they don't ask any more than that. Then you can walk away and they go, gosh, man, how do you get into that? I love it when I see people and they say, what are you selling now? You still selling Nissans and Dodges? I'm like, no, it's exotics now. And they're just like, really? And then if they don't ask, I just go, yeah, hey, I'll talk to you later. And I know they're going, how does he get from a Dodge Ram to like Lamborghinis? Like, how did that?
But you're not lying. You're not lying to them.
I'm not lying, but I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. They're just smaller than what, they're just smaller. You can fit in your pocket. That's all. That's the difference.
Maybe I can reword what I do. Instead of saying like I'm a teacher, I could say like I'm an influencer.
There you go.
Absolutely. Put a twist on it.
Influencing your kids to be better. Yeah, dude, absolutely. 100%.
So Clayton, at what, hour and a half? Yeah, we're a little over an hour and a half.
I don't even know. I'm just chilling, hanging out. Hour and a half.
That's the beauty about this, is that like
it's easy.
We start talking, and then next thing you know, an hour and a half. You should be around when Mark and I just have phone calls.
Yeah.
Well, I have those
His,
friends too. I was telling you, my buddy
his
Tim
wife,
and diecast, dude. We used to talk 2-3 hours, and like back when I was married, my wife would give me crap. They're like, "You want to go hang out at his house tonight?" I'm like, "Well, if he wasn't 6 states away, I would." Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
now Mark is going to pop smoke, and it's going to be even harder for me to talk to him.
I'll always answer the phone for you, buddy. Always.
So for parents, people, aspiring content creators, stuff like that, like how would you, I'm looking at my notes, and how would you,
How would you start and how would you continue to move on, even if you feel frustrated? Because listen, we all have those ups and downs in our life. When I tell people all my time in my seller support classes, if you get on Whatnot and you think you're going to be the king Pooba, you're going to fail over and over and over again. But don't stop. I mean, repetition is key. Just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually it will catch on. So, in your world of doing what you're doing YouTube wise, same questions.
even not limited to like YouTube, obviously, you know, you say that you have a hard time saying like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. Like, dude, you're a content creator, bro. You got the plaque. You got over 150,000 subscribers. You got over 80 million views, all-time views. Clayton, you're a content creator, bro.
You
Yeah.
are.
Like, so for
And
a
kind of a big
parent,
deal. Can I say that? And kind of a big deal? Yeah, I mean, let's go
I mean,
racing.
it's just weird
That's
because
a
I don't
big deal.
feel that way. Like, I'm just a
you're the
normal dude.
voice. That's another question I have. How did you come up with the voice? How did you come up with the voice that you use?
I don't know how, honestly. I would ask you guys to go after this stream, go back and look at some of my older videos and feel free to laugh because I do. If you go back 2 years, okay, look at some of the shorts, look at some of the races. The shorts crack me up. This year in April, I'll send you both the link. This year in April was our 3-year anniversary. And I went back and I took a bunch of those old videos and I did like a whole short on, I think it was like a 3-minute short on where we started to where we are. And it is wild because back then I had a manual starting gate. It was just literally on a door hinge with a spring.
Yeah.
And in every video, you can see my hand. That was one of the biggest things I did not like about our first videos. So we upgraded from that. But if you go back and listen to my voiceovers then, it's comical. I'm not kidding. It is comical because I talk about a gravedigger and I literally talk. It's almost like I was afraid, right? I'm like, all right, here we have Gravedigger and Max D. And then at one point I just started saying, let's go racing, and it never stopped. But it was literally like, okay, here comes Max D down the hill. Oh, Gravedigger just passed and Gravedigger wins. It was literally that. And then I'm like, dude,
Super job.
I need to make these more exciting.
Right.
And it kind of evolved into what it is today. And now today, I literally get excited. And before I would video the race and then do the voiceover, which I still do. I do it afterwards. The trucks go too fast to do it live. But in my head, every race, I'm already thinking what I'm going to say, which is really cool. So then you get to editing the video and you're like, oh yeah, this truck did this and this truck did this. And it ended up in a wheelie. And it's just, I get excited about what's going to happen. So I'm like, all right, now we have Gravedigger taking on Max D. Let's go racing. And I just get like super into it, right?
I love it.
And it's wild
love it,
because now that I'm in the store and I'm doing voiceovers, on one side of the store is a Supercuts haircutting place. On the other side of the store is a Sally's beauty products. And I can hear them once in a while. And I know they can hear me doing a voiceover.
They're
So
like,
if I'm in here for 3 or 4 hours doing a voiceover,
yeah, people are getting their haircut going,
look at that.
What?
Gravedigger ends up in a wheelie, does a backflip, surprising the crowd. Check him out. Like, oh, what just happened? And I literally yell.
Getting their haircut going, is there a guy yelling somewhere in this building that's coming through the vent system? We're like, yeah, he's over there racing monster trucks. And you go, what? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, you'll hear him from time to time.
It's so funny. So if you go back and look at that stuff, like where we started, it's just one of those things that has just become what it is through time and wanting to make things better. Like I want to outdo myself from the last race. And
absolutely,
it's wild.
So going back to the question before the voice, what's some advice that you have to say, like for an aspiring content creator or a collector, or, you know, what you've learned as being a parent, that you could give to the audience, the tens of people that are going to watch this?
Yeah, but that's okay. You know what? There was videos we had 10 views, 15 views. We all start there. Dude, we all start there.
Well, here's
My
a good
advice,
thing. Here's the good
it's
thing.
great.
You're going to have the Our Time for Adventures followers get to hear this. So hopefully we'll have 30 views instead of 20.
Actually,
That's
can't wait
what
to
we're
share
shooting.
this. I cannot wait to share this.
Well, I appreciate it.
Views, we're going to make it. Yay!
Well, like you said, like people never see my face. I'm on the backside of the camera all the time. So, and people don't know a lot of the backstory that we've talked about today or what we have coming up. Like they only see that content in that moment, right? So, what I would say is that question has multiple parts, right? As far as YouTube, if you want to be a YouTube creator and you actually want to do it, you're going to run into frustrating times. You're going to post those videos that you think should be your number one video, and your YouTube tells you if you have, they rate like your last 10 uploads. And it's one of those things that if you have a video that you think is, oh, I put so much extra effort into this one, and this one's going to do great because I did this, or this little editing trick is new, or these trucks are nice, and it doesn't do well, you see that video trending at like 9 or 8 or 7, don't give up. Like there's so many people that just stop and give up because they get frustrated with that. You have to just, oh, well, that video didn't do well, let's make another one, you know? Look at your analytics. If you're going to be a true creator, we've been creating for 3.5 years. We have close to 160,000 subscribers, like you mentioned, 80 million views. I still, to this day, watch vidIQ on YouTube weekly because they put out a ton of great information. And we have made it on YouTube. Once you hit that 100,000 subscribers, you are in the top 1% of creators on YouTube. I don't know if you knew that. So we're in the top 1% of creators. I still watch other channels on how to improve our stuff, how to get like little insider tips and tricks, how to do different thumbnails, different titles, what's trending. You can never stop learning. And we may not change our videos a lot, but if you go back and look 6 months ago compared to what we're doing today, you will notice differences. As far as the dad side, if you're wanting to do YouTube content, never give up on like the things that matter with your family. Like it can be overwhelming. It can run your life, like it can everything, but you have to keep doing that stuff. Take time to go to sporting events, go to races, do picnics, go hiking. Like this summer, I will admit this summer has been extremely busy with opening the store and all that. The World Finals being here and still with our day job. And it's one of those things. I just had a talk with Heather. I'm like, you realize this summer we didn't go swimming one time. It used to
Wow.
be a thing where we would go 5, 6, 10 times a summer. We didn't this year. And I feel horrible for that. So I just had a talk with my son again tonight. I'm like, hey, what do you want to do next week? I'm like, when you're over here next week, we're going to put everything on hold. Do you want to go hiking? Do you want to go on a cruise in the car? Do you like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go hit the golf course? He just kind of recently showed interest in golfing. I'm like, let's go golfing. It's not 110 degrees like the last time we went, you know, let's go golfing. Let's do it. It's just never give up on those things. And I know life gets busy and you want to keep doing stuff, but you always got to get back to where you started. As far as collecting, if you are a collector, that's one thing I absolutely love about collecting is you can be a collector and share those moments like with your kid, sometimes with your family. I know collecting can stress out a family. Trust me. Oh, you got connection. Look at that.
So there's me. There's my son. There's Ashley. There's the guys that worked for him. But yeah, that's in the winner's circle.
That is so cool.
And I keep the ticket right there. This is on
Yeah.
our wall.
That's funny. I have a lot of the tickets from events I've been to. That is cool.
We just reconnected here. We're redoing our back room. So you like that plastic against the door? And you got our shark bite. You got our shark bite freaking surfboard right up here on the wall.
Nice.
All right, I got disconnected. Now we're reconnected. So I'm back.
You're good.
I don't know
You're
what I
good.
missed.
Just kind of talking about life as a creator and advice to give to people. So, yeah, never forget where you started. Always do stuff with your family. Never give that stuff up. Like, no matter how busy you get. I was just telling late night here that unfortunately this summer that did happen. And I was telling him we used to go swimming all the time. We used to go to the lake. This summer with the build and Monster Jam being in town and starting up our own business and still working and everything. Like I was telling Heather just last week, like we didn't go swimming one time this year. Not one time did we take the kids and go swimming. And I'm like, we need to go out and do more of that stuff now. You know, now the shop's done. We're ready to go. It is what it is. It's time to get back to like the things that really, really matter.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was just touching base on is like, you've been a collector for 30 plus years. I've been a collector 30 plus years. The thing I love about collecting, and it doesn't even have to be diecast. You can collect pennies with your kid. We used to collect rocks. We literally used to collect rocks. I still have a bucket of rocks.
In my day, I was so broke I collected rocks.
So when we would go hiking, we have a bin
with
of
this
rocks.
petrified wood. My kids and I got into crystals and rocks, and there's arrowheads. And I mean, there's a petrified tree. I have totes like this underneath me right now. I bet there's 30 totes between here and all back here in rocks. Yeah, you say rocks, I'm right there with you.
That's what it's not a rock. It's not a rock in a plastic tote. It's a memory.
Right.
Because when me and my son hike, he would just find a cool rock. He's like, oh, look at the shape of this one. Look at the grain in this one. You know, and we would put in our pocket and take it home. Like that's what matters. It's not about collecting. I mean, collecting is about collecting, but it's about sharing that experience with your kids, with your family.
Yeah.
Like getting that holy grail, you get that little burst of adrenaline for a minute. You're like, yeah, we did it. It looks cool on the shelf. But to sit there and say, yeah, we did it and it looks cool on the shelf with your kids sitting there, that's what makes it worth it.
It's funny that you say that because like I remember some other content creator I was watching, they said, you know, if you really want a super treasure hunt, you could just hop on eBay or whatnot and you could buy the super treasure hunt that you've been looking for. Right. But you won't have the memory of buying it secondhand the same way you would have the memory. And he's the content creator. I think it was Mike's Hobby Planet. I don't know.
Mike's Hobby Planet.
But he was absolutely right because I've only found 2 super treasure hunts in the wild. And I remember both times exactly where I was, like what store it was, why I was out hunting, you know, like, and he's right. Like you remember those things versus say like, yeah, you can go and buy those arrowheads, that petrified wood, you can buy it, but you won't have the quote unquote core memory.
Exactly.
Of that thrill. Like, you know, I think Mark was on the phone when I found a super treasure hunt and I was like amped. I was amped.
Yeah, big time.
I wanted to keep the pain train going, dude. You know, I wanted to like
go into more stores.
Next, I'm going to that.
And that's it. You get that little taste of the hunt, and it's like that's what keeps it all going. And I'm right there with you, Tom. It's like I have found 2 supers in my life, and I remember this. One was in Montana in a Walmart. I happened to be walking through when I was traveling. I stopped at this Walmart, and I found a case of Hot Wheels in the Christmas section on a pallet. I went and asked the worker because I don't like to break stuff open.
Yeah, right.
We all have, right? And I went and asked this worker, I'm like, hey, can I open this up? And he's like, well, we're not really supposed to do that. I'm like, if you don't want me to, it's cool. We're good, right? Like somebody else can look through it. He pulled it off the pallet, set it off to the side, let me open it. And there was the Audi Super in Montana. It's weird that you know that stuff. And then I found my second one this week on a whim. I literally wanted to get out of the shop for a minute. Like I was here editing, sitting on the couch. I'm like, I'm going to walk to Walmart, stretch my legs a little bit, grab an energy drink. I found a super. I'm like, every event in today, well, I was thinking this then. I'm like, every event today led up to me walking to Walmart today and finding the super hanging on the pegs. It's crazy. Like if I would have hit snooze one more time, if I would have not ran that yellow light, if you know, like it's crazy. You think of stuff like that, and it's like, wow. But I'm right there with you.
I found my one and only super 2 weeks ago. I went to Myers at 7:00 with my son because he wanted to go look for monster trucks, and we walked up and the pegs were abnormally full, and I'm like, wow, that's weird. It's like 7:00. Like there's nobody stocking shelves. There's no boxes. I'm just like, huh. And I looked over and it's staring at me. I'm like, purple Bugatti super treasure hunt sitting right there in the hook, and I took a picture of it. I'm like, am I punked? Is Ashton Kutcher going to pop out of here and be like, yo, got you, man? I'm like, it's right there. Like, I know how many people we have that are hunters here. That's why I was just like, I can't believe it's there. You know what the
Timing
dumb
is
thing
weird
is?
too.
I didn't even look through the rest of the cars to see if there was another
You
one.
don't.
I
You get
was
so excited about the one.
I was like, oh, let's go look at the monster trucks. I'm like, I got my car, and then down the monster trucks we went. And I think now I'm like, I left the treasure hunt probably there, and I should have looked through because they were so packed. I should have looked through the rest of the cars, but I was like, one and done. I'm out.
Yep.
Yep.
That's good though, because you took the one and done, and you left everything else for another collector. Like you
I
didn't.
was
just
thinking of
do-
other people. I was thinking.
You're being very
Yeah,
selfless. You were
Yeah.
being
Way to be
you
generous,
were
Mark.
super
Yep.
selfless.
Yep. Can't own them all. Got to leave them for the next one.
But
Speaking of that, one time we were in a grocery store and we had found, I don't even remember what chase it was. I really don't. We found a chase monster truck and there was like 4 of them in this grocery store. Oh, it was a Megalodon. I know it was a Megalodon because the kid, to this day, we say Meggie. And it was like a
Meggies.
3-year-old kid. He called Megalodon Meggie. And we had found some of the Megalodon chases and we're checking out at this grocery store. And the kid seen it from the next register over. He's like, Mom, look, they found Meggie. I'm like, oh, do you guys collect monster trucks? And Arthur already checked out and just paid. And they're like, yeah, he loves Megalodon. And I'm like, well, here's the chase. Like this, it
There you
literally
go.
gave it to him. Made that kid's whole week. He's like, he looked at his mom like, Mom, can I have this? And I'm like, seriously, it's fine. Like, I don't want money. Just he can have it. It's okay. And they were like blown away that he got Meggie at a grocery store and it was a chase.
So listen, this story, this resonates the exact same way. Already paid for on the Monster Jam mom boards. You know, I'm sitting at home, and Jimmy, Yankee fan, was in Portugal at the time when he was on vacation. He sent me a message. He goes, "How close are you to this place?" I'm like, "It's an hour and a half away." He says, "Stars and Stripes are there. Go get them." I'm like,
Oh boy.
okay, let's make this trip. We drove, busted butt, got there, walked in, and the lady's like, "You looking for the trucks?" We're like, "Yeah." She's those have been gone for hours. And I went,
Wow.
gosh. And then a woman walks around the corner, young mom, and she's standing there and she starts to rock around that corner. I'm like, "You're on the mom boards, aren't you?" And she went, "Yeah." I said, "They're gone. They've been gone for hours." She goes, "I drove an hour and 45 minutes to get here." I'm like, I get it. We drove an hour and a half. And my son wanted a set of these so freaking bad. And I'm like, you know what, bud? We're still going to find him. It doesn't matter. Well, as we were getting ready to walk away, the lady in the back, she goes, "You need to go up front to the service counter and ask for Janelle," or whatever her name is. She bought a bunch of them before the scalpers came and bought them all up. And if the kid wants them, you need to go talk to her. So we walked up front. And I said, "Is Janelle here?" And they're like, "She just walked out the building." I'm like, okay, because we're trying to find her because I guess she's got some monster trucks. And they called her, and she was at her vehicle. She came back inside. She goes, "You guys looking for the monster trucks?" And Scotty was like, "Yeah." And she goes in the back room, opens the door, grabs one of each 2-pack, hands it to him, and says, "It's already been paid for." For
oh,
kids that could get their trucks because these people come and buy anything and everything. And I was like,
Yeah.
you gotta be kidding me.
That
So
is
not
so
only
cool.
did we get a combo, but he didn't have to pay for them. And I'm just like, wow, like that's just a killer thing to do, you know?
It
So
is.
shows
It's
there's still
awesome
good
to
people
see.
out there. There's
Yeah.
still good people out there.
When I'm not trying to like talk us up by any means, but we had some extra stars and stripes recently, and somebody put us in contact. They knew I was looking for the new the milk delivery truck treasure hunt, right?
Yeah. Milk
And through
Monster.
the mom groups, Jess, she put us in contact with another mom that had some, and obviously their kids watched our channel, and so she sent me a picture of 4 brand new milk trucks, and I'm like drooling because we haven't seen them yet, right? And I'm like, that's the new milk truck, cool. And I'm like, do you want me to buy them? I messaged, so we're in a group chat on Facebook. And she's like, so and so, here's Clayton, Our Time for Adventures. He's the one looking for the milk trucks. And Jess is like, I'll just let you guys work out your deal. I'm like, cool. So I asked her, I'm like, is there anything you want to trade or do you just want me to buy them? She's like, well, really, the only thing I'd be interested in trading is the stars and stripes. Like, but I know that's not really doable. Nobody has them, blah, blah, blah. I came to the store and I grabbed 2 stars and stripes off the shelf, sent her a picture of it. And I'm like, here, I will trade you the stars and stripes for milk deliveries. And she's like, you will what? And she was like blown away. I'm like, you have 4 trucks that you paid cost for. I have 4 trucks I paid cost for. I will trade you. And she was like, she lost it. And she's like, you will seriously? And Jess just chimed in. She's like, see, told you they would help you out.
Yeah.
And like, it's a good feeling. Can we go on Whatnot and sell them? Absolutely. Have we sold on Whatnot? Absolutely. We've also given them away on Whatnot. I have
Yeah.
given 6 different sets away to fans that have walked in the door of our store. And that's what people don't get. They see us selling on Whatnot. You can make good money on Whatnot. Okay.
Right.
But we love the fans that come to support us. Like, we're very new to Whatnot as far as like a streaming service, right? We've
Right.
only been on Whatnot 6 months and we have 2,000 followers on Whatnot. It's because we bring a good following from other platforms.
Right.
I love being on Whatnot, doing the live races. And I'm not going to lie, yes, we make some money in some of the stuff we sell. But what people don't see is we do a ton of giveaways through the channel, right? Like, if people are looking for stuff, I don't know how many sets of stars and stripes. Kind of funny story on that. When the Gravedigger was here, we did go down. It was like 10 miles south of us. I did not have an hour time shirt on because I knew I wanted to buy a couple of the stars and stripes if they were there. Fans noticed me in line, okay, with our time. So I'm sitting out there talking, and then all of a sudden these people come out from inside the store and they're loaded with stars and stripes. And I'm like sitting here talking to fans, thinking to myself, I'm like, well, if we don't get in there pretty soon, we're not going to get any.
Right.
We go in and there's like one case is completely gone. They had 2 full cases out. One case was completely gone. And could I have bought the rest of them? Just grabbed a cart and bought them all? Absolutely. I bought 8 sets. I'm not going to lie. I bought 8 sets that day. Somebody noticed us, me, it was just me there. Somebody noticed me buying them and commented on one of our Facebook posts that if somebody would have left some behind, we could have had some for other people. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry you didn't get any. I am definitely not the only one that walked out of there with multiple sets.
Right.
I left a whole half of a case there of display. I literally told the guy, I'm like, I apologize you didn't get one. We are giving some away for our store opening July 6th. Come visit us. Maybe you can get one. Like, we're giving them away. I bought them to give away, not to
Right.
sell.
Right.
You know, and people just don't understand that side of it. And it's tough.
No,
That part of it's tough.
they don't.
Like,
Also, people don't understand and Whatnot how sales work. And when you get done selling, you got to pack, right, Tommy?
yeah. The very
Tommy
first Whatnot
experienced
show
that.
we did, we sold 240 items. We didn't have a thermal printer. We could not get our regular printer to work. Okay. I know you're both like, it was our first show. I didn't know. I
I
couldn't
still
get
don't have
the,
a thermal printer.
I
Oh,
couldn't get the, I couldn't get the sizing of the labels right, and it wouldn't print. So we had to print all of our first show on 8x11 sheets. Heather sat there and cut them out. Dude, I promise you, Saturday night, we were up until 1:30 in the morning on the show. We like doing longer shows. I like doing like diecast late night parties. Tommy knows, you've been there all night with us.
right.
And the next day, that first day when we packed, we spent 13 hours packing with 2 of us. And we were up until 2 a.m. packing because we couldn't get the printer to work. Like, we had no idea. No idea. It's a lot more streamlined now being here in the store with the thermal printer and everything else. But
People
even
don't
at that,
understand that.
we do
They don't
200
understand.
items in a show, and me and Heather working on it. It's a 5-6 hour job.
The
Yeah.
problem is we make it look, and I mean, and this is the honest reason why. Clayton, me, the bigger streamers that have been doing this for a while, now even Tommy, we make it look so easy that everybody that's watching is like, I mean, they bought a collection, they're banging them out, they're making all kinds of money. Look how much they sold it. Oh, and they're off already? Just imagine, they're cashed out, they're on their way home. Yeah, you're right. That's what happens after you get to your 1,000 sales. And now I'm at 40,000 sales. But that's half the job. The next day you
Yeah.
wake up and you go, ugh, I got to go in. I got to print labels. I got to put them in each one of the totes. I got to add stickers to any one of the boxes that might have won the giveaways. Then I got to take each box and figure out which box size I got to put each one's in. I take a box down, I tape it up, I put the trucks in, and I stick it over here. I do it all over again. Then I got to go back and we got to pack all the boxes. You got to put all the labels on the boxes. People don't understand how many hours that takes. And we had a shipping guy for a while. We've lost him. We've got another shipping guy that's coming back. But now we're moving to Arizona, so that I just have done all my shipping again. I don't mind shipping once I get into a groove. But the worst
Right.
thing is you're into shipping and then all of a sudden you run out of a box size that you need. And then you don't have any within grab. Or you run out of tape mid-straight and I got another one down. We don't have any more tape?
Yep.
It's 11:30 on a
100%.
Friday. What? You lose all motivation. You lose all kind of
100%.
brain power. You're just like, what is open at 11:30? I can find a roll of tape to finish my last 3 boxes. people don't understand. That's why we have such a huge shipping department. All these box sizes, because when people say, well, you could use free boxes. You could. I get
You
that.
could.
But when I want a certain box, because I know what fits in every one of my boxes, I want to turn around and go 10 by 8 by 6. Open it up, tape done, done. That's what
I got to
happens.
show you guys this because I know you guys are at home. I just happened to be at the store, so I'm going to show everyone what Mark's talking about because he's absolutely right. Dude, we did a stream one night, and I think we had 380 some labels to print because we still print with the packing slip. I know a lot of people don't. We do. I like to do it. I like to mark them off. We got 380 some labels one night. We got to like 320 and I ran out of labels. I thought we had more. We did not. It's 2:00 in the morning. We have no thermal labels. And I'm like, what are we going to do? So now here's a little bit of owning a business. Here's all the tape you're talking about.
There it is.
Here's all the packing or the thermal labels. We have 6 sets, 500 packs. When those start to run out, I mean, we have multiple tape rolls, right? I've ordered the tape now by 32s. What's that?
Hold on. You can't just open the... Is that Batman to the left?
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
So this is funny too. I bought these in a stream. I bought some monster trucks one night in a stream just because they came with Batman and Superman. I have been hiding these. Watch. Every couple of days, I take them and I hide them around the shop until Heather finds them. I'm Batman.
She's short, so can she see up that high?
Right. So from her height, Batman's looking right at her. So I hide them all over the shop until she finds them.
Awesome, dude.
But back to the boxes.
How did you see that? How did you? I'm like,
listen, it's the ADHD in me. Listen, my eye catches something, and I'm just like, was that Batman? Like, what?
So now Batman will be there for a couple days until she walks by and sees it.
Or a kid comes in and he's like, I want it.
Yeah, or a kid wants Batman. They're like, how much for the Batman? I'll be like, well, buy a truck, you can have Batman for free.
There you go. But Clayton totally, I mean, you're just like me. You have to have a shipping department now. You have to have supplying boxes so you just don't run out.
I'm a little ADHD too. That's why we went in here, right? But we do, like Mark was saying, we have different size boxes for the different trucks. Double packs with a single truck will fit in one, 2 double packs will fit in another. A single or a double single will fit in those. If you got 4 of them, you got that one. Like loose single trucks fit in the little 6x4x4s, like all the way down to 12x12s. Like we got it all.
Yep.
And then we have quite the.
I'm just gonna say those are all totes of trucks that haven't been sold yet, right?
Yep.
Are those all totes of trucks that haven't been sold?
Those are all trucks.
Those are all trucks.
Yeah.
So like you see here, I don't know if you can see series 40 to 42. Series 40 to 42, 34, plushies, mix, Marvel packs. Like, yeah, it's all labeled.
You got the Bailey circuit? Do you have the Bailey circuit?
Tommy's losing. He's like,
do you need a Bailey circuit?
Monster trucks in my life. That's a lot.
I don't need a Bailey circuit. Ghoul needs a Bailey circuit.
I'm sure he's got one right here in a closed tote. Look, Bailey circuits.
Oh my God, you what?
I'll send you one.
You have to send me. That's absurd.
He's like, you know what? Hey, I know a guy who knows a guy who might have a Bailey circuit.
Well, so the thing about that, though, is what Mark was just saying. Doing the stream is half the work.
Well, you're
I'm going
absolutely
to go back on that, and I'm going to say it's a quarter of the work. The stream is the fun part.
Like maybe 20%. It's like 20% is the fun part.
Because, like what Mark touched on, you do the stream, you got to pack, you got to ship, you got to keep up with all your supplies. One thing people don't know is then you got to go re-up on what you want to sell, right? There's a lot of work that goes into now hunting down collection, going to all these different stores to look for the new stuff. Like, there's so much work that goes into that people don't realize. Yeah, you can jump on Marketplace and find 20, 30, 40, 50 trucks here and there. Right. But if you really want to keep doing this, you got to look for those 4, 5, 6, 700 truck collections, Yeah. And then you got to be able to get them and put them somewhere.
Well, people don't realize that Whatnot drains you of inventory, unlike eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. It drains you every show. And if you're putting on a show like, Clayton sells 300 trucks, you got to re-up 300 of those trucks. I mean, because if you start dwindling your good stuff down, you get to the mediocre stuff. Well, then you're starting to try to sell mediocre and a couple Hot Wheels in between it. And then next thing you know, you're just trying to sell Hot Wheel trucks. people aren't going to come back because now everybody and their brother thinks they can be a whatnot seller. And so you have all these new choices, but it's the people that put on the good show that people come back to watch every time. But they also still expect you to have the good stuff, the new stuff, the
100%.
stuff that, I mean, so it's that fine line. You're absolutely right. Find collections, but find new stuff. And you always got to make sure you're up, because whatnot, and I tell people this all the time, I sell sports shows, don't throw your all your best stuff in your first show, because you're not going to have good shows after that.
Yeah, you're not going to have it. It's going to be gone.
It sucks you dry, unlike anything else you're selling on. The platform is a great platform to sell on. You can make great money. You can push a lot of inventory, but you got to re-up that inventory. And right now, it's slim pickings out there in the Facebook marketplace because everybody and their brother's looking for it.
It's slim pickings just in general in the monster truck world, because I think even since we started in March, and we're lucky that we bring a big following to the table.
Yeah.
And I'm also lucky that I have YouTube. Like, I don't have to rely on whatnot. Like, I know obviously people like yourself do it as a job, and I know you do other stuff on there. Again, we started doing it for fun. Now that we have the store, yeah, the income's nice to help with the store and everything else, right? But it's just one of those things that, like, ever since starting in March, there used to be 10, 12 people that would sell weekly on whatnot. You can go in there now, and I've warned people about this. I've been around diecast long enough that I know you're going to get to the point where people are running over. You look at Hot Wheels, right? I've collected Hot Wheels since I was 9 years old, and whatnot is just one more platform. You can go on there and you can pick from 100 shows any given day. You can go on whatnot at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's a dozen shows that people running Hot Wheels. It just happens, and it's gonna keep happening. And people see that, hey, you can make a buck on this, and maybe I can buy a little collection and not have to pay for our trucks in our collection by selling other stuff. And now they're out looking for collections, and it can get tough for people. But
the guy right now on whatnot, he's got 231 live viewers.
Yeah.
Who is it?
What are they selling?
Diecast Cult 64 is the channel, Cult 64.
Cult 64, yeah, he's at the convention right now.
Yeah, and then you see other people like on the Hot Wheels side. Like, I'm a big Hot Wheels.
He's at the LA convention.
LA convention. Oh,
it's going on right now. I would be there if I wasn't getting plans of moving. So that
just spiked something in my brain. I know you're moving to Arizona, and we're planning on going to Las Vegas for NASCAR in March. I happened to look it up, and the Vegas convention for diecast is the same weekend as NASCAR. So Heather and I already talked about we're going to go to NASCAR during the day and then the convention stuff at night.
That'd be cool.
If you're around there, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I can make that trip. That's going to be an easy trip to get to.
Yeah. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a second. Cut that out. I need to go use the little boys' room. I'll be right back.
All right.
We should do a whole nother show on that.
So Clayton, thank you.
Let's do it. Let's do another show.
I would love to have you back. We would love to have you back if you want to come back.
I would love to be back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This right here, what we've done tonight with you guys, brings everything back to the roots of what collecting is all about. It's about making friends, hanging out, having a good time, and enjoying the hobby. Like, enough of everything else that's going on. This hobby gives you just a little split moment away from reality, right?
Yep.
When you're having fun in the diecast hobby and you don't have to think about everything else and hang out with people and talk, that's what it's all about. Let's do it again.
Yep.
I would love to do it again.
Absolutely.
All right.
Because I mean, like, as a
guy, we will do it again. Absolutely.
You have a wealth of knowledge, man. I want to recap. So you have a super successful YouTube channel. You now have a brick and mortar business. You're a self-made guy, and like, I didn't know this about you. I didn't know. I don't know if anybody knew that you're a high school dropout. You got your GED. You've experienced some. You mentioned having your partner Heather and coming from a separation. So you faced serious trials and tribulations and all this stuff, and you came out like the cream rises to the top. Like,
oh yeah.
So you just got to keep pushing, dude. If anything in life, you just got to keep pushing.
That's it. And you definitely worked hard towards it. It wasn't handed to you. And, you still managed to make time to be an awesome dad, which is super important.
Absolutely.
because like you said, we do this for our kids. So I thank you for coming on this podcast today, and thank you for gracing us with your presence, man. I really do appreciate it. Do you have anything you want to leave with the audience on your way out?
The only thing I can say is just keep collecting, keep enjoying what you're doing. If there's drama around what you're doing, ignore it and just have fun with your friends and your family. Dude, that's what this hobby or any hobby is all about. Enjoy it, enjoy the memories, and have fun.
Yep.
That's what we're all here for.
Our Time for Adventures on YouTube. Clayton, where can they find the store?
The store, we are in Harrisville, Utah. So if anyone ever watching is in Utah, we're about an hour north of Salt Lake City. And we would love to meet some more of our fans. If you're ever around, let us know. Hit us up on all the social medias. You can't message us on YouTube because we are a kids channel. They turn all that off. YouTube does.
Yeah.
But we have Facebook at Our Time for Adventures, Instagram, TikTok. Everything with us is at Our Time for Adventures. OurTimeForAdventures.com. You can get a hold of us anywhere. Our Time for Adventures at gmail.com. It's literally Our Time for Adventures everywhere. So
It's great when you only have one. You can't mess it
exactly.
like me. Same thing. The Vintage Drop Shop, everything.
That makes it so easy.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
Well, very good,
right,
Clayton.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah,
absolutely. And thank you
Tell
guys
us what you want to
for
see next.
this chat, dude. It's been awesome. I love to be able to give everyone a little backstory as to the voice. Let's go racing, right?
Well, I would say also in this one, in the comments, post up what your favorite monster truck or diecast collectible car might be. If anybody can remember what their first or their grail car is, put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. We'd love to see what it is. We try to read the comments all the time. So
absolutely. If you already have a grail, let us know. And if you're searching for a grail, let us know. Maybe somebody here can help you out. You never know.
There you go.
There it is.
Boom.
On that note, have a great night, day, weekend, whatever, man. Keep on collecting.
See you guys on the next.